Next, I have to get the Steam bot working correctly. Okay. How is everybody doing tonight? Hopefully everyone's doing well. So there you go. What's up, Mr. Bob and Mr. Dane? Just getting spun up. It's gonna be an interesting evening. Especially when we get to the Game Awards. I'm really excited for some of the games. I didn't pick all the games. What's up, Mark? I did not pick all the games that I that were at the Game Awards, just the ones that intrigued me. I have some thoughts on the Destiny dungeon today, Spire of the Watcher, as I and a few others called it for a couple hours, Spire of the Censored Show. But yeah, what's up, Dakota? All good, man. All good. Which dungeon you guys running?
One in New World.
Yeah, there's a few of them. I don't know.
No, I was being a smartass.
Yeah.
All right.
So
hey, we're both in a hoodie tonight.
The Naruto hoodie. This one has now become my favorite hoodie, and yeah. Okay, I'm good with that one too. 99. I think that one's got a better cause, though.
Yeah, it does. Better than Naruto hoodie.
Anime versus vets. Yeah. A few to help a friend with gear. Gotcha. Did you guys make 600?
Hey, Bob. How you doing, bud? Dane?
Did you get that?
How's
What
it
is
going?
it? Need for one? Okay. So you're going to make the loop. Are you guys going to farm like nodes and stuff too? For like the sword and everything? I know there's a sword out. The two-handed sword. One of them. I don't know. I have to play it again. I haven't played it for a while.
Good to hear that, Bob. Good to hear
it. Just doing good, man. 610. That's good. You might have to carry me if I ever go back to playing New World. There's just too many games coming out for me to be hopping back in right now. So I enjoyed it.
You did like it though.
I did. I like the base mechanics. It didn't have enough content. It had some performance issues. It needed a lot of balancing, and it was too easy for when I was playing it for clan leadership to essentially just rob blind its members, and no real way to hold accountability to them or give direction or schedule things. It's got a few quality of life improvements since then. You know how many times that trading post is brought down though since the game is launched? I think it's like, yeah, I know it was when before I stopped playing, the trading post was brought down 4 times, maybe 5, usually for a day or two. And then there was once it was down for almost a week. So it looks like it keeps getting exploited. There was also an issue with duplication of trophy parts and stuff for your apartments or your housing. And yeah, they need to make a lot of economic changes because there were some clans that would get control of an area and just crank up the taxes so high that it didn't make sense to keep housing there or anything, and it made travel and getting around very difficult. So I believe a lot of that's been fixed. I'd have to go back and check though. I did enjoy it. Of course, I also enjoyed Lost Ark, which I've heard, by the way, is going to have another nerf. Well, you can call it a nerf. You can call it whatever you want. My understanding is they're going to make another change to honing costs in the favor of the player.
Yeah,
but not in
real rough. So
yeah, not in the favor of their pocketbook, much to their dismay. But Amazon, I think, is putting their foot down, which I guess is a good thing. But I need to follow up with it more. It was only like a BuzzFeed article that I was reading. So I kind of tuned it out and went from there. But yeah.
I don't know. Now you're gonna look it
Anyways,
up.
yeah.
So when did it come out? The article did.
It came out. I don't have to go check. I think it was last week.
I'll look it up later. Since
Yeah, there's been too much stuff reading going on. I'll find the link. It's on my my reading tablet.
so all
So
good.
yeah,
I can catch up with that later.
yeah,
Let's do it. It's fun, you know.
yeah. I'm just glad it's the weekend. I got one more week of work, and then I'm off for the holidays. Thank goodness. Of course, with family coming in, that's probably going to be chaos.
No,
And
for
no
me,
sleep.
it'll be work and work and work again, bud.
You work on the. Do you get at least get like a holiday weekend or like the
I
New
mean,
Year's
I
off and
don't
stuff
know.
too, or
They've never said so
that sucks.
because it's on Sunday. So they didn't tell us which day it was going to be or not.
That kind of
It's life, geek.
sucks.
It is what it is, dude.
Sucks a little bit there. How about everybody else? Is everyone else working this holiday, or do they get Christmas off?
I had to bring in my water cup this time. I didn't have enough to drink
Nice.
last time because I just had the bottle of water and the other thing. So
I'm good. I've topped this off. It's mostly full of ice right now.
Yeah,
And
this is
then-
too, so it's gonna melt, and then obviously I have the normal shaker geek.
Nice.
It's actually
Staying hydrated.
oh, definitely, dude.
Yeah,
It's a huge thing, man. Is staying hydrated.
Makes a difference. So, figure we'll give it a couple more minutes before everyone. Hey, Hunter, I get 3 weeks off during Christmas, December. Yeah, I get from December 19th all the way through January 6th. I can take a few more days off if I want. I think I have another week's worth if I want to take that off. Kind of want to save that because I have more travel that I want to do. I'd like to do like 3 or 4 weeks. So, yeah. I'll be playing all week and watching movies. What movies did you guys hear that what James Gunn did? Since he's now in charge of the DCU movie universe, he essentially canceled all the upcoming DC movies and wants to make sure that whatever movies they do shoot stick to the comic book canon. No, as they put it, no external modifications, no political agendas, none of that stuff. Stick to the comic book canons that made them famous, and they'll be good. Because I guess in the news when it got out that Wonder Woman 3 was canceled, that people were upset because for Gal Gadot, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna be back." They already mentioned it, but the Gunn wants to make sure it is a hey,
What's up, Spider? How you doing, dude?
Wants to make sure that whatever they go forward with, it's going to make the fans happy and is actually going to break a profit. So it's interesting on that one to see. Dane sent me an article earlier that I had to look up. It looks like The Rock and Brendan Fraser and some others are getting ready to do another sequel to The Mummy, which would be really, really cool. I'm glad that Brendan Fraser's finding his way back. I always liked him as an actor. My favorite movie with him was with Honors. If you haven't seen it, it's just a fabulous movie about scholars and learning that academia at academia on a Harvard level, sometimes you have to put feelings before the academia to understand what the academia means. And this isn't a political thing or anything like that. It's a really good movie, but it's from, I don't know, a couple decades ago. I'm a little old. Marvel Universe is, I believe, to my understanding, now in the process of reevaluating and cutting phase 4 or phase 5 of their movies because their stock, even with the change of ownership or CEO, still continues to fall. So they believe they need to right the ship and look at bringing back the people that were originally responsible for the first phase or first 2 phases of the Marvel movies. So they're copycatting James Gunn, and we might see some better comics. If you stick to the comic books, you'll be good. You can't go wrong. That's what made him famous. You can also see that we didn't have this scripted. I'm just going off of here, but a tangent, a squirrel moment. And the Witcher season 3 on Netflix. I don't know if it's going to survive or get pulled. The writers are in a lot of trouble. It looks like they're going to get fired because they got caught stating they don't like the books and they don't like the game, but they're the ones writing the show. And apparently season 3 has, of all the airtime, about 20% of the airtime has The Witcher in it, Geralt, and the rest of the time they made it about Yennefer and the other girl and stuff. And that's not going to go over well with the fans because it's called The Witcher for a reason. And it's about Geralt and all that. So, yeah, I think for me, it's just 100% about just stay true to the canon. I mean, look what they did with Lord of the Rings, Power Rings. They're essentially scrapping the entire season 1 that they spent millions on, and they're rewriting because they're and refilming it to go true to the books and the lore, which speaks volumes. And you go against it. Hey, Joe. Oh yeah, Henry Cavill is 100% just Superman, comic book canons, and everything else like that. And then he's also Witcher. He plays all the games. I don't know how many times he played Witcher 3. I can't keep count of that. And then you had the number of books he's read. The man just absorbs himself in that stuff, builds his own computers, plays World of Warcraft and lots of other games. So I as far as actors go, he's all right in my book. But
all right.
Anyways. So the Witcher series. Yeah. On Netflix, I'm going to say Dark. By the way, welcome, Dark. It is. I don't see it surviving. They made really. I like Liam Hemsworth.
Without him, no, but still,
he embodied that character. You can't just say, "Hey, season 4, we're going to swap him out." Nobody going to buy that because you can't fit once. Okay, that'd be like me saying, "Hey, Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man, but I want to swap him out in Iron Man 2 with somebody else."
See, that wouldn't work, man.
No, it's just
it'd be weird, dude.
It's not going. It's so
it really would be weird, man. Like,
yeah, I don't know how they would do it.
Thanks,
Spider, thanks for the bit, Smitty. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
But yeah, man, definitely. Like, if Geek, that would almost be like, like in the situation of like any movie that you've seen that has certain characters in it for like over a span of a period. It's just like any TV show. You'd feel the same way.
Yeah.
What up, Joe?
I mean, I get there's going to be a point where you have to adapt to it. It's like you look at the new Mario 3, the new Mario movie coming out. A lot of those older people are like going, I don't know if I can handle Chris Pratt as Mario because of his voice. But then you realize and you think about it because there was a couple of art editorials done. They're like, you guys do realize the movie isn't made for old folks. It's nostalgia and it's a throwback, but it's made for the younger generation. And my kids watched it. And they played Mario and they're like, oh, they're super excited. They didn't care about the voice. So we have to keep in mind the target audience. But for The Witcher, that's definitely not made for kids. And everyone that's watching The Witchers are the gamers.
Yeah, but it's not the kids. The kids are not.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's Geek. This goes like back to last week. It's all about perception, dude. It's who are you aiming at and why and like how.
Yeah.
And how do you want to aim at them? It's what it really is.
It's gonna be interesting. Henry, let's see, Joe says a lot of people had issue with The Rock's Black Adam, but it does set up the story of ISIS, but the article again, there's two articles. I wish I would have saved them. Where Gunn was talking about it. He had some issues with the lack of success. Black Adam was successful, but it wasn't successful. And it didn't do any good that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, tried to compare it to the first Captain America movie, which made $300 million versus Black Adam's $72 million. So that's net profit and everything else. And Gunn was like, next time we're going to have a little bit more, we're going to pull it in a little bit more, make it a lot less cheesy. They want to, the DC movies are dark. They have some humor. Batman has really dry sense of humor, things like that. So I'm totally cool with the direction that he wants to do. I had to build a grep script that goes out and pulls these things. And once they start moving again, we might cover it once or twice. But I've got my blog that I've been working on, and it's going to auto-populate news blog page in there with some of the grep stuff. So I have to get through all that. Dan says Henry supposedly agreed to stay for all 7 seasons if they stuck true to the lore. His mandate, it's written in his contract. The second they deviate from the lore or anything else like that, it nullifies his contract. The writers didn't care. They thought that Henry Cavill was replaceable as Geralt. No.
That's why you're in the boat that you're in now with him.
Yeah, and I think once it's all said and done, Netflix is going to look at those writers and say, you screwed the pooch, you're fired. We're not going to hire you for any other projects. So an ID10T error. I'm not looking forward to season 3. I have a feeling that I'm going to start season 3 and not finish season 3. Yeah. I don't consider Black Adam as okay. No problem. I don't consider Black Adam as a failure. I would more say that Black Adam showed 2/3 what was right and 1/3 of what won't work.
But I mean, like, let's be real. Like, we knew something was gonna, like, especially the way things are now too.
So,
like, I agree with Dane though. Like, I think the failure of Black Adam is what made him like literally flip it back around and start heading the other way, man.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering how Shazam, the next Shazam movie is going to hold up.
That is good.
Many drivers in The Witcher 3. Well, I'm going to come over here and I am going to. Whose stream is that in? Is that yours? That's mine. Nope, that's yours. Is that yours, Jay? I'm going to have to start banning the term promotion in my lists. Yeah. Because I'm not seeing that on mine.
Did you activate the shield mode thing?
I haven't. But
well, look at that later.
Yeah.
I know. It's fine.
I've read about it. You can turn it on. You just it looks like it is yours. Yeah.
That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. I hate people like that. I guess I need to make a note for Restream.io to say, hey, look, once we have these come in and they pop a chat, can we have the ability to remove them from the chat? Because once you do that, it doesn't look like it gives you an option to. Does it involve naked to be from quality is guaranteed? Yeah, no. We want to keep it at least PG rated, maybe. But yeah, no. Rock pipe.
Yeah, I mean that's on you though. I'm perfectly fine over here, bud.
Wow. So for tonight,
old man.
Yeah, we do have some things to discuss. I can CGI and get abs.
I get abs. Yeah, I hear you, bro.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
He said I can get ripped with CGI, boy.
Yeah, so I did want to talk about a couple of things. We're going to do a lot of game talk tonight because the Game Awards and everything. But I did want to.
The Game Awards is probably one thing that will take us the longest to speak about.
Yeah.
So we could probably take a quick look over the Hive thing because it's not.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
Go.
The mascot has showed up.
Yeah, I see it. And Joe sent me a the Witcher ads
mini driver geek.
Okay. I will watch this
Okay. So I think a lot of people are familiar with Twitter.
Also, Smalley, what's up?
What's up?
Yep.
Smalley bot. Man, that Ice Cube went down the wrong bite. So when Elon Musk,
wait, guys that are on mobile and stuff, can y'all see that?
Yeah, I can zoom in a little bit more.
No, I'm just wanting to know if everybody could see it or not, so that's what I'm asking.
Okay. So when Elon bought Twitter, everyone freaked out. Okay, Jay and I are not political in any which way or form. We have our opinions, but we keep them ourselves and they don't go on air. So if you want to have those discussions, unfortunately, we don't go there. But we are going to talk about is the fact that once Elon bought it, Twitter and everybody decided that they wanted to shout from the rooftops and go someplace else. Oops, what is that?
I don't know.
All right. And they said, "Oh, we're going to go find some place where there's free speech." Elon is 100% on the free speech part. I think he's kind of getting there. But everyone flocked to two different platforms, Mastodon and Hive. And I haven't done a technical breakdown on that. Mastodon is a series of different servers, and each server is run by its own set of admins and their own topics. So if you want to go into a gaming topic, like an MMO server, and then go to a first-person shooter server, and this is just trying to break it down for you, or you wanted to go into a JRPG server, you would have to set up a profile in each one, and each one of those servers has different profiles, different policies, different settings, different mandates. If one user is blocked on one server, the same user is not blocked on the other server. So you have all these things, and it gets really kind of complicated to manage. Mastodon was originally set up to be these little small server settings for small niche communities to chit chat. Cybersecurity has a really cool Mastodon server, but they were proven to have some security risks based on server to server because each one's managed differently.
I remember that. Yeah, because I remember that being a thing that they were talking about. So,
and some of them got shut down because they just couldn't keep up, and a lot of the admins were getting yelled at, and they're like, "We don't have to deal with this," because people are like, "You need to block so and so, block so and so," and they're like, "Look, if you don't like them, just block them yourself, and unfollow them. That's all you got to do." So there was that one, and then there was Hive. A lot of the gamers that we follow, a lot of the streamers that a lot of us follow, decided they were going to go to Hive. Well, Hive shut off its servers for a few days, and they haven't actually recovered all the way through. They were identified of having a ton of vulnerabilities in their servers, which fully identified and released all your information, your email, your address, whatever you put in your profile, whatever you thought was private was out there. Your private messages, your private DMs, everything was available to the public. So Hive shut down. I haven't checked this today to see if it's on there, but I do want you guys to know, if you have social media accounts, you do not have to put all your personal information on them. Be safe, be careful. Just, bear in mind, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, social, I'm going to leave TikTok off of this one. Mark, a lot of people hadn't heard of Hive, and I don't think a lot of people are. I don't think these side social medias are going to go there, as now things are kind of stabilizing, I think, on the major platform. But if you do have Hive, for anybody that's watching this, double check your credentials, double check your whatever you have listed on there. make sure it's nothing that you don't mind having shared out on the web. Yeah. So just that's what I wanted to talk about on that one. Be leery, be careful. You don't always have to share everything out there. Yeah. And when I read the article and I saw the number of vulnerabilities, and this is just the open page. There are a few other technical security blogs. There's a site called Pastebin. There were just a huge dump of people's information put out there.
Yeah.
I checked it because I wanted to see if mine was out there, because I set up a placeholder for GMD Geek just as a precaution.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was nothing else in there other than my GMD Geek in a throwaway email. So, and my dog is laying on my feet, which is not normal. It's not the big one. It's the husky.
The little one.
Yeah.
Ryan MySpace. Tom never betrayed us.
Yeah. Yeah. So just be leery if you guys have used Hive. Okay. So that one gets no. There we go. You went to Xbox HD. Let's do Xbox too.
Yeah, because these are shorter ones that I know we could just get out the way decently. Because I know the Game Awards, having other people comment on the stuff too. So
yeah. So I'm sure everybody out there, Destin's been, yeah. Thanks, Bob. Destin is another streamer. He's been covering this quite a bit in his YouTube videos and everything. But I also get some tickers on this one, and it's very, very interesting that we all know Xbox is trying to buy Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
We're 99% sure it's not going to get blocked. And when the FTC filed last week that they were going to block Microsoft or Xbox from buying it based on, it's going to be because of the Call of Duty titles and this stuff and these major titles that the Sony PlayStation doesn't have access to, which are already on their platform. Diablo 3 is on their platform. Call of Duty is on their platform. Very, very weak arguments. World of Warcraft is not on console yet. It's one of Xbox's goals.
It would need a lot though to be able to put on a console. Dude, we both know.
But if you get Xbox buys Activision, they did say that was one of their goals, is to be able to get that to a port,
which is not going to be easy.
Well, no, they do have some stuff set up to allow PC Xbox ports to be.
Dude, but no, I'm saying control wise, dude.
They have a mock-up already. Blizzard came out with a controller mock-up for accessibility.
But the whole thing is I'm thinking of the comparison to Final Fantasy 14 to PlayStation 2 playing it on PC.
Yeah, I mean they'll still have to figure it out, but
yeah, it's a bit to figure out though.
So, So Microsoft went to meet with the FTC. I don't know if they did it this week or they're planning to do it next week. They plan to address it before going to court because Microsoft or Xbox already came out and said, we're going to fight this one and you guys are going to lose. And then everybody in the world said the FTC was insane and was going to lose. And it was going to cause a reverse investigation as to why the FCC, after all these facts were presented to the UK and all these in the EU forums and everything else, is Microsoft's counterpoints to Sony, which had a very weak case and has now been legally documented internationally. And there's like 6 or 7 countries that have already signed off on it without any issues whatsoever. Why is the FTC getting involved? And they want to find out if someone's in the pocket or pool. And I think the FTC would like to avoid that. But so right now they're meeting with them, and it's not expected fully that the FTC is going to carry through on their lawsuit. I'd be very, very surprised if they do. Geek, something to look into. Look at the time frames that Xbox will allow games to stay on other platforms. Yeah, I know. They've already come out and said that. So 10 years, and they've even said that in the court documents. They said it in the court documents that if you go 10 years, that is sufficient time for the other platforms on the market, okay, to come up with plans and plan and get things out there. But then they also pointed out the PlayStation has a much larger, like 200% larger footprint than the Xbox does. And all these things. It's the here. I think I shared the links last week. But let me get Destin's page.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah.
You said there was like 5 videos to watch.
He's got a few of them up now, so
I'm saying from last week you said there was like 5 because I'm clearing that up.
So if you guys come here, if you guys really want to watch some videos that break it down in full, you can go here to this link. You'll start all the way back. You can go 11 days ago, and then just follow them through, and you'll get a pretty in-depth breakdown of the legal findings and the documentations and all that stuff. I mean, it's not Apple buying Disney type thing, but I can see both sides. Yeah. I do believe, speaking of that one, Mark or Dane, I don't believe that Apple will be permitted to buy Disney at this point due to all the microtransactions and the fact that they're already in court for monopolistic behavior with their Apple Pay and all that stuff and how they treat the developers. So I don't think they're going to get the Disney stuff. As somebody else will come in and have to either buy them out or something. I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be, I don't even know if I won't even want to bother following that one. What about you, Jay? Apple versus Disney? I don't.
That's not a pie I want to put my fork into.
I like tech, and I'm perfectly fine.
But the way that's going to go is not going to be a good way.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine following Apple as I do for like my day job and everything, staying on top of the do's, the don'ts, what they're being sued for, what access limitations and the hardware and the costs and all that stuff, and then dissing on them for that, for their blatant failures and right to repair, the issues that they're facing in China.
Yes, but
massive China stuff. But after they got caught,
yeah, but I'm saying at least they're changing. I mean, they could have not did it.
True, very, very true.
So I mean, now they're changing the right to repair. At least.
Yeah,
it's a step in the right direction compared to what they were doing.
They was settled out of court on that one. They still have to.
It's progress, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's better progress than we were a year ago when you went on a rant with a hurt about Apple.
I remember that. That poor guy didn't stand a chance.
He was like, but. Yeah.
That I mean, don't get me wrong. Apple makes a good product, but it's their policy, procedures, and politics that really screw them over, and how they treat their customers. Which kind of leads me into our next topic, and this is going to be a hot one for a lot of people.
Segue.
Anybody play the new dungeon today in Destiny 2? Give me a 1 if you guys did, because I did, and it was a complete crap show.
Give me since he said 1 if you have, you can just type F in chat if you haven't.
Yeah, it was. So the first boss is the boss from Garden of Salvation, and the second boss is just a beefy wyvern. Okay, but for roughly the first 2 to 2.5 hours that the dungeon was out, you could play it anyway. You could kind of queue into it,
guys.
And it started to be playable, and then it would crash. You would get error code Calabrese, Weasel, all sorts of interesting times, because
they didn't. If you're not getting a Weasel code, you're not playing it right.
Yeah, Well, this wasn't just Weasel, and for a small fries, they didn't. It went for the first 30 minutes. Bungie didn't say anything about it, not one word, and people started posting. I had started posting. I was like, here I was just like, dear Bungie, Destiny the game, and Bungie, because nobody knows who to talk to, because Bungie says if you have any issues with Destiny, you're supposed to go to Destiny the game. And then Bungie the help says it's for Bungie the studio, not specifically for Bungie the Destiny the game. So I just tagged them all, and I was like, "Is this happening?"
Thank God I didn't get Bungie. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're good.
Everybody got Bungie.
But so I put we got through the dungeon like 2/3 of the way through, and we're doing the drop down portion on the inside. We just kept getting disconnect. Calabrese, and at first they thought, oh, Geek's on a PC. It's got to be Geek, and 2-man, single man, everybody. Glad was getting kicked, Sweat was getting kicked, CB was getting kicked, Vegeta was getting kicked, Frostbolt was getting kicked. All these major streamers, so it got televised, right? So you got all of a sudden we had rabbit error codes, guitar error codes, freaking NAT settings,
error code roulette.
Yeah, and I'm just saying it's error code roulette. It's just whatever's coming up. And this is where I have a very, and I know that Dado put out a video, and I'm going to catch some crap for this one. If you guys want to send it to him, perfectly fine. Dado, you need to stop defending Destiny 2. I'm not talking about the content. I'm talking about their really bad business practices of not testing their crap appropriately. So I put out a tweet that says right here, so how's that Destiny community to test for errors and bugs working out? Because they've come out and said they can't properly test, so they have us do it for them. So for the first 2.5 hours, the game was actually unplayable. Most of us thought that we're trying to do the dungeon. It was just specific to the dungeon. And then as more and more tweets came out, we found out that this was not the case.
Game-wide.
It was game-wide. There were people trying to do competitive PvP that kept getting error-coded, and they got banned. They got timed out. They got the short ban. And if they kept trying to come back, they got a longer ban. Figure that one out. So they didn't properly test. We've known about the dungeon for a while. They announced the dungeon, at the beginning of last season?
Yeah, I remember hearing about it.
Or even the season before. So I know they've had it on the roadmap for a while. They could have at least tested. They could have at least done that. Now, the good news is they do have a machine learning team that is getting ready to stand some stuff up. But as to what degree, I don't know. What I don't like here is I see this 5,811 likes. You know what? I think that's a BS ratio. You got 500 retweets. Most of the people are tossing sand in the direction, but you just got 5,811 people just like, okay, that's cool. I got nothing else to do. I paid for the game. How many people paid for the dungeon pass or the dungeon key? Everyone that's played the dungeon had to pay for it. It's not a free game. That part is 100% paid for. $10.
You know what? This is what I was telling somebody earlier. Like we were chatting a bit, right? And Geek, this is shade for Bungie too. It's most MMOs that I play don't take my content away from me. I can go play it at any time.
Yeah.
And so it's like I paid for the content and you take it away. And for me, that's one reason why it's like I'm not I won't but see that Dane, I'm not gonna pay $100 to be a lab rat for a game that I'm not really enjoying.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, I do agree on that one. We did once the bug subsided, it's been fairly stable. We managed to go in, we cleared it a couple times, we got all the collectibles.
Yes, I've still seen people that are still having problems at the bell.
Oh, I'm talking this dungeon. The bell, they haven't fixed they have not fixed duality yet. Duality is still bugged. Instant kill off the bell is still very much a thing. They haven't fixed it. I doubt they ever fix it, which makes it a pain in the butt for those trying to get the solo flawless. Plus, do you guys know? Anybody know how many emblems are introduced to the game for this new dungeon, Spire of the Watcher? 4. One for
4.
completing it, one
Okay.
for completing it solo, one for getting all the achievements and stuff, and one for something else. Why does a dungeon get four freaking? Yeah, Dylan, it is.
Yeah, Dylan, it's.
I don't even bother anymore. I still have not gotten fixed odd red borders done, but I have a semi-god roll that dropped for me, so I have no reason to, and I don't plan to. Me being solo and a potato, I wasn't going to worry about the dungeon.
The only thing I figured Mark was worried about, it being that it's Friday, was pizza and beer.
Probably. Probably.
That's like the highlight of the day, dude. I know what he's gonna have.
Yeah. So I went in and asked a few more further. Anyways, before I want to read some of the tweets
pizza
here.
In oven. There's no need for that many. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of getting. I guess the only way to really put it is just ripped off.
Yeah. I mean, so I get what they initially wanted to do with the emblem.
Yeah. I mean,
it wanted to be something cool. But after having 6 million of them in the game, what is the point?
There's so many overabundance of them, and it's like they don't really matter.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay.
It was a perfect game for this, because remember, like in Terra, there was all these titles and like achievement points you could have.
Yeah.
For fighting and stuff like that, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's just something else that you can complete. Yeah, Dane, we knew you'd be using the cat emblem, bro.
Yeah, at least Stray won a couple of awards last night, but we aren't to that yet. So one of the things I'm going to take a note of, again, as I called out in one of my videos, I'm going to call it out here, is the streamers that continue to defend Bungie's behavior.
Hey, I got 2 more likes since you said that.
Yep. Like, oh, great, they're fixing it. We're aware of it. How long have they had these error messages, and why can't they get rid of them? In the realm of IT, we have a short-term fix, and we have a long-term fix. Short-term is supposed to be patching. It means that it could occur again, but we have a method to help stabilize it. We have a way to work around things, keep it kind of band-aid it, keep it going. And then we have a long-term fix that says we've identified the issue, and this is what we plan to do to keep it from happening again, and then implement that plan. Now, if they want to leave those out there because it's too costly, or they think the risk versus reward model is worth it, then they need to put out a statement to their consumers. Now, I'm going to say this. People are like, we're gamers, we're not consumers. Anybody that's given Bungie money is technically by law a consumer. Yeah. So Bungie needs to just fix their crap. And people like Dado need to stop saying the community needs to stop crapping on them and everything else. Now, is the season early? Do we have a right feeling on everything? It's not been out long enough to give you a 100% fair assessment. But because I'm still playing, I love the game, right? I've only got my Titan left, and once that's done, I'm not doing too much. I'd probably be pretty done, except for on Tuesdays, right? But when people keep defending and keep saying that it's okay, Bungie will never fix it.
Let's be real. It's not just Bungie. I mean, many other companies do it, but
not on the scale that Bungie's been doing it.
Let's be real, dude. Overwatch 2 was god awful too.
But they've made patches and they're coming out and saying that. If you have to do all that stuff, and at least those guys are communicating.
Well, there's a good portion of people that don't want to admit that they have a problem though with the game. There's a portion of people out there that if somebody does say something negative about the game, instead of them stating their own opinion, they just kind of back away in the corner and just like nod their head at it and just keep going.
They're like, I can't believe you're bashing on it.
They literally put on the blinders and just.
Well, it got so comical earlier. We went from being frustrated to being really pissed off to just laughing at it. It was that comical. Like, we knew this stuff was happening. Day one, they had bugs. Day one, they had people not being able to log in. Day one, they had people having issues getting the story quests to load, mobs to load, latency issues, people shooting
Actually,
mobs
wasn't it
that were disappearing.
Well, since I'm not playing, I remember seeing a Bontas post about something about Rose. I don't know what that is because I'm obviously not playing.
It's a hand cannon for PvP. It was supposed to be a reward in Crucible. It wasn't dropping. That was supposed to be the prize in Crucible when the season started. It wasn't dropping. It took them a while to fix it.
All right.
So all these things that I think could have been better had they done a little bit more adequate testing, I think would have been made for a much better experience. But so far,
so since this is your kind of thing, right? Your wheelhouse for tech stuff. So how would you suggest, since the question needs to be asked, because I know somebody's going to ask you, since you're saying all this stuff, it's like, well, if you're in their shoes, how do you fix it?
I put out a video on it.
I'm just saying, but
but this specific one,
yeah,
this one's easy. And someone said, because it came up when we were talking earlier, like, okay, what would you do? So here's what you've got. You've got a bunch of administrators that run the servers, and the gamers that have run all this stuff. They have logs, system logs, game logs, player logs, all this. Up till the day that, say, today happened, you can take all those logs and the log identifications and the event ID numbers, as some of them are called in Windows. It varies depending on the OS, varies on the program and everything. Each event has an ID and everything else on it. And so you can say, okay, these are all the errors that have been happening. Say you can benchmark it, say, for 30 to 90 days. Get yourself 90 days. Get a good footprint, right? And then you can look at the logs from just today, and you can say, here are all the new logs, and here are the logs that have been occurring for the last 90 days. Let's toss all the logs that have been reoccurring for 90 days out of today's logs from the time we went live. And then just focus on those new logs, bundle them up by like events, and then look at the other player data, look at the network data, do some advanced correlations and say, was this a memory leak? Was this caused by graphics? Was this caused by the API and too many people making calls into the API? Now, first off, for anyone that tells me and said, oh, it's their servers, they're overloaded, they don't have enough servers for all the players, I have a problem with that one because the servers at one point supported 1.4 million players. And until a couple of months ago, we're supporting on average somewhere between 500 and 800,000 players. Today, with the time that the servers went down, there was barely 200,000 players. Not even that, because Steam makes up about 40 to 45% of the game population now. It's Steam. When we were looking at the launch, well, they were just over 50,000 players on Steam. And if they're 40%, you double that and add 20 to it. So you're about 120, well, being generous, 130,000 players. Yep. It had nothing to do with player load, everything to do with bad code. I'm guessing a memory leak, something around those way that essentially DDoS or some sort of mechanic that DDoSed their own servers from within. But you have to see those logs.
To this point, since we're talking about Destiny, there we go. Shamrock says third-party apps and Destiny companion app is disabled for the weekend.
Yeah, they disabled those, I would like to say, an hour and a half after the first discovery was made. Because we were like, and it's made. Hey JJ. Hey JJ, it's made up, trying to move gear and stuff around. So like, I know Fury and a few other guys are in there doing helps and stuff with the dungeons, trying to get people caught up. Dylan,
what up, Easy?
Not understand. Hey, Easy, there's two. I think my unorthodox rapid Bill Clinton for this stream. Yeah. I don't know if dedicated servers would fix it because of how their code is implemented. This is instance, and since it essentially affected the entire game and not just the dungeon. Initially, we thought it might have been an instant dungeon rule, and then you could have just looked at the dungeon code, but it's how it's working within the game itself, maybe how the dungeon worked into it. So new servers be able to stay up longer, handle a heavier load, probably. However, performance would probably still be there. The issues would probably still be there. This is an issue where they need to really look at their put together spaghetti code and the problems that are facing it, and how they tackle that. Again, is you have to baseline what has been working. I would run, if this is me, it was my environment, and I've run some pretty big network environments, 50 plus servers taking in terabytes upon terabytes upon terabytes of data every single day, with a 3-man team. And we used data analytics. We used SOAR, which is automation, orchestration, and some other tools for correlation and monitoring and stuff. Even though we were looking at other people's data, we always monitor our own. We set up our own dashboards and glass tables and everything to say, hey, look, we're having memory issues. Give us alert on this one. We're having storage issues. We're having performance issues. We're having network bandwidth issues. We're having all these different things, and they different tiers of alerts to them. So we'd either get alerts on our phones or emails, call outs. We'd have support desk people that would get called out on the IT side, all these different parts to ensure that all that stuff was working. And I don't know how, I do not know how Bungie has set that stuff up, but I can pretty much tell you that however they've done it, they need to stop, reevaluate, and fix it, because it's not working. Again, if we looked at this as an enterprise environment and I was a customer, say a company, an entity called Gamers Incorporated, right? And my client base consisted of, say, we'll just go with 1 million players, right? There's been in the history, according to the documentation, the statistics and everything else, 42 million players at one point plus have played Destiny 2. We're just going to say this quick. Gamer Incorporated has 1 million customers. That's 100 or 1 million, 1 million customers. That's 1 million clients, 1 million installs of Destiny 2. Say, and we've all paid for all of it, right? So you had 100 on that one. And I tried as a vendor to get that into an enterprise. Okay. And my product started doing this stuff, and I issued patches. The things that we don't know about now, we don't know what they've done for vulnerability management. Look at what happened to HIVE. Look at what's happened to GameStop with their data breaches. Look what happened to Rockstar with their data breaches. What is in this software? Has there been any vulnerabilities introduced when there are all these bugs? Do we know if the game's introducing any vulnerabilities to our systems? We don't know. But because they don't talk about it. Their technical blog, they had a technical blog they posted earlier and then deleted it immediately after having all the problems, right? So I can't speak for them because I don't know the inside of their environment, but they do need to evaluate what's going on. I believe they do need new servers. This doesn't give me a whole lot of faith for Lightfall. The trailer was awesome last night at the Game Awards. Yeah. And they had some really cool graphics and some really cool, it was supposed to be mostly gameplay. I'd say about 2/3 of it might be in-game engine, but the rest of it was definitely cutscenes. But it doesn't leave a good taste in people's mouth. What's going to happen if last season we had these issues, this season on kickoff we had these issues, Dungeon we've had having these issues? What does that say we're going to have experience on day 1 or day 2 of a new expansion that most paid $100 for?
Yeah, definitely.
So I can get really heated on this one.
Here you go, Geek.
But
right there.
You know what the game is missing? Heart. The game used to feel like a product of love. Now it feels like more a money machine. Yeah, it's like I'd said. I
agree.
If they could get themselves some longer seasons. The problem is with the longer seasons, like they went from 3 months to 4 months on those seasons. That's one less Game Pass cycle of money. And if you can manage to get 500,000 people playing the game and they're all paying $10 for a season pass, that's a pretty significant chunk of money, right?
Yeah. Well, when you think of that, they're doing it every season and how many people are actually buying it, dude, it just stacks and stacks and stacks up, man. So it's like over time,
yeah,
they're making so much money doing that.
Yeah. So XD, what's interesting is there's like Easy is in my fire team. He's one of the guys that runs Kmart, which is the clan that I'm in, and we do Destiny helps and all this other stuff. And we typically do quite a few activities. A lot of the players are just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy it. I don't think I'm going to play it. I don't know. And everyone is going to wait. I mean, and you look what happened to CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah. You look at with New World.
That was rough at the beginning, dude.
Yeah, and New World has actually made a comeback. Cyberpunk's made a comeback,
Yeah.
but they've
Well,
had
Cyberpunk made that comeback thanks to the anime. Let's be real.
Cyberpunk's the anime and the fact that they put a lot of work into it.
And they did fix what a lot, because that was the reason I stopped playing it on Steam, because like, dude, it was not a good experience.
So the other thing that Cyberpunk came out, and they did several technical blogs, right? And they identified, and they didn't shy away from the fact that they identified exactly what the issue was. It was their quality control testing and assurement, right? And they had outsourced that to another company, and that other company fudged the numbers, made them up. And I don't think that company's in business anymore. But that's not to say that the CD Projekt Red was without fault. You should always test everything, right, before you're going to put it into production environment. And they obviously, and they're going to say, and this is why I put that tweet out earlier that said, so how's using the Destiny 2 community to test for errors and bugs working out? We're reactive. If we test it, well, they're reacting to what we find instead of proactively going in and finding what could have prevented this.
They're waiting for us to say what's wrong so they can fix it.
Now, here's an even bigger question, an even more interesting topic. Okay. Imagine, if you will, D2 still had the player base it didn't several months ago or a year ago, and we're at 800,000 players plus. How much more quickly
would this wouldn't be on light first drop?
Yeah. How much more quickly would this dungeon have crashed? How much more quickly would the game have actually been playable at all?
Honestly, no. It would have been.
But Bungie also ignores a lot of bugs. They don't. They're like, tell us what you find, and we don't have. Does anybody know?
That's good.
Does anybody know of a bug submission tool within the game?
No. For Destiny? No.
Yeah.
Like,
you can go to the website, and you can report stuff, but it's not really.
If there is a bug, I don't know of any way to get a hold of them except them telling you to tag them on Twitter that they never look at it.
I know you can. I mean, I know for a fact if I fight somebody that I believe of cheating, I can right click and report and do those things based just on the player, not the game. So I think their whole concept of we need the community to identify the bugs for us, but not provide an avenue, and then consider it every time we try to point something out that we're attacking the developers, we're attacking the community managers when it's constructive feedback where someone is passionate about the game saying, what the heck's going on? Why is this broken? And why do you keep breaking the game? I mean, I worried earlier today. I know a lot of people because I got really upset until again, Easy will tell you, we started kind of thinking it was
report Bungie
a cheater. Yeah. Can report him as fraudulent for fraudulent error codes. Was how many people that lose their crap? I mean, really lose their temper through their headphones, through their controllers, hit their keyboards, whatever. Did anything get broken today because Bungie did something stupid, and they did it again? And it drives me nuts that they would have that mentality. And this is all we got from them today. This is all we got from Bungie today.
All right, so
you come here and we have identified the cause of ongoing issues and are investigating a fix. Does anybody remember that from Monday when the season, or Tuesday when the season went live? We are investigating the cause of an ongoing error. Or they've identified it.
Easy, you're not wrong, bud. Definitely not wrong, bud.
If I had $1 for every time they said,
wait, scroll down then a little bit, because if it shouldn't be too far down.
Update. We're currently investigating.
Okay.
Yep. Hold on. The API, they turned that off. Yep. We are investigating ongoing. This is 7 hours ago.
There's the players are intended right there.
Right there. Yep. Players are intended to receive. This is the hand cannon error message. We're investigating the cause.
It's the Hungary waffle.
And then you can go back to we've deployed a fix in response to they still haven't fixed the seasonal artifact, by the way. This is December 9th.
I remember
today.
your little thing off of that.
The artifacts is still broken. Oh, look, guys. Investigating an issue. Maintenance.
No, since we were here.
Yep. Oh no, it's perfectly fine.
Hey, look right there. No, look, it says when season launches.
Mm-hmm.
It was like less lag.
Yeah. No. I mean, issues causing server matchmaking and egregious error codes have been resolved, but that was after the issues causing server matchmaking has been identified and a fix is being implemented. Okay. And then even after they implemented this one, if you go read all the tweets and stuff below.
So there's been 3 fixes that were identified and fixed, right? Quotations. No, look, let me finish the statement before you go with it. So according to this, since December 2nd, there's been 3 that they have, or 2 that they have fixed, but 3 that they have identified. That's a week.
Right. And these aren't small, issues.
But see, no, if you look at it from the standpoint of working, if I had this kind of production with working, I wouldn't have my job.
No. So you on December 2nd at the season launch, matchmaking, everything was busted. You would go in. Oh no, this was before the season launch. Because this was people trying to do bounties last minute, stack and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And they couldn't. I literally had a live stream where I went into the tower. Nobody was there. I did all my bounties.
I remember you telling me about it because we actually talked about it. Remember?
Yeah. I did all the daily bounties on one of my characters. Never once came across a single guardian on any of the planets. And then the weekend before. And then thanks, Waffle. I like the name Hungry Waffle.
The Hungary Waffle.
CB with the super sticker. Thank you, my brother. So they've got this repetitive thing going on where they have these errors and they're too dependent upon the player base for doing the troubleshooting and identifying the bugs before they come in. And this, I think, is what's causing the problem.
So, Dylan, the funny part that you say that, I know what you mean. I am a machinist. So that's why I said if I did that at my job, I would not have my job.
Yeah. They've come out and they've said, by the way, for Dane, if you're trying to use the shout outs because we're using Restream.io,
they don't work.
They don't work. That's the downside. They did tell me they're trying to get Nightbot to work. So as soon as that happens, we'll start using that one. But going back to the testing, CB loved the stream today. You stayed really positive. You did a much better job of staying positive and not angry, like myself, with the dungeon crashes. And right now we're specifically talking about what we think the causes are. We went through a lot of it, and they have a lot of logs they can go through to investigate and do reactive response. But by depending upon the users, the players, the consumers, as we are, if we paid money, and to get into the dungeon, that requires a dungeon key, which is paid for. It's not free. Everyone that's trying to access it as at that point a consumer, they have some expected rights. And I think Bungie's saying what they did in the past, where they're dependent upon the player base to do the testing for them because we can find it faster, is an unacceptable methodology for testing. And so we're going through here on the Bungie help site, and we found multiple times where they're investigating. They constantly say they're investigating errors that have been reported, investigating errors. You could literally grep the Bungie help page and find the number of times they say it. So it clearly shows that they're not doing the methods that they're using for testing are either antiquated or inadequate. And how they fix that, we don't know. But I think this is one of the biggest things that's contributing to people. And I know, and I kind of threw shade, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of threw shade at Dado earlier because he came out with this video where he said, yeah, people need to lay off and stop complaining about it and everything. Let me explain. We're not talking about in-game content. We're not talking about well, what I want to do now, what's repetitive, what's not. We're just talking about a stable game that we can play, because I know a lot of people that only have a couple hours a week. And if they took time to come in and they took a couple hours off, and there's a few people that I know that took time off for the day just to do the dungeon in the first 2 to 3 hours, met with error after error after error. And how about the people that posted to Twitter with the video clips, the tweets, with the screenshots where they completed the dungeon? They received the exotic bow, and as soon as they went to orbit, their weapon was changed or removed from their inventory. Or people like say Glad, they completed the dungeon and then they couldn't pick up the loot. They could stand around the chest, they could sit around the chest, they could emote around the chest, they could see the engrams, but it didn't do anything. And as soon as they went to orbit, they didn't even get the triumph for completing. Wait, your favorite part wasn't error coding? Easy. I think a favorite part was our jokes. That we were, once we got comical about it, I think we were good. We had to get past. I had to get past the geek Hulk moment. It was rough. It was rough. But the reason, and I'm going to let Jace talk here in a second. The reason I get so upset, and I want people to understand this, the reason I get so upset is, one, I'm geek. All right. I'm Poppy Geek. I paid for something. I expect the stupid thing to work. Okay. That's where my patience level is. I pay for it. But I love this game. I wouldn't still play the game if I didn't love the game. Between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, thousands upon thousands of hours played. I hate to see where the direction of the game is gone. And I hope with everything that I am that they can correct that course and figure out before it's too late that they got a player base that would come back and play the crap out of their game if they got a little bit of respect thrown their way. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to lack of respect and taking an advantage of a community.
Well, see, the thing that people have always said too, and which I agree with, the people that hate the game the most love the game the most.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been. Like the people that are saying that you do this and that and this and that with the game are also the people that, like, something that you've played for years, you really don't want to see it go down a path that you think is bad for it, This is the further it goes down that path. Like, there's a certain expectation that you really wanted to get to. And when you're not getting that, it feels, geek is the word for this.
Disappointing?
Yeah. Like, it's
hollow?
Like, it's hollow, man. Like, it's, bro, like, look, it's like getting the pie with no filling, okay? That's what it is.
It's like getting a pie that's not, expect a cherry pie
shell,
and it's a beet pie or something. Yeah.
Just, it's something like that, man. It's not the same, because honestly, to be real, for everybody here, I haven't played Destiny since August 27th, bro. Not even loaded up. I haven't even updated it since then.
Yeah.
Like, so just crust, right?
Just the crust. Yeah.
JP Stranger Things Surfer Boy Pizza Supreme.
Yeah. Well, my concern, again, as I've said in a couple other videos, is if they don't do this, how much lower is the player base potentially going to go?
Thing is, though, too, because we're gonna go through this too, because I've seen these posts out there. They're gonna say, "Oh, well, if you don't like it, don't play it." Right? That's what normally everybody fires back at you.
Yep. They try, and then I
but I'm gonna say, like, look, that method only works for so long. Because what happens when that person that told you that gets to that same point, and then that's when they start getting mad and complaining, and then when you fire that back at them, then it's rage.
So you've got that one, and I fire back with, "Hey, man, I've got thousands of hours in the game, hundreds of dollars. This is something that I can't just walk away from." They're like, "Well, you're addicted to it. You don't like it. You need to go find something else." That's the thing. And I talked about this in another one. People are going to start playing other games. And when we get to the Game Awards, there are a lot of games coming out next year that are pretty freaking tantalizing.
No, next year's pretty stacked.
And even if they don't hold the person or the players, all of them, if you combine them all together, you get one group that leaves the game because they're just tired of all the mechanics.
A lot of people have said that though.
Exactly.
They said, yeah, just if you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that only works for so long, dude. That's like literally a band-aid for things.
Yeah. So you're going to get groups that leave. They're going to go play some other games, and they're going to come back after a short break and say, okay, that's fine. And they'll play a little bit of Destiny. Say, we'll use, and people are like, oh, we only have a low player base right now because of Modern Warfare 2, or because of Apex Legends, or because of Valorant, or because of Fortnite. Any of these games, so those are the PvP games, not just PvE. And there's a lot of other games. And you start throwing in these different types of games like God of War, Ragnarok, and everything. You're going to have another group of people that leave, get more joy out of playing.
Hi, goodbye.
Okay, bye.
She dropped off her shopping list for Santa last minute. Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's rather heavy. She made a lot of notes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So they're going to go play other games, and they're going to try and come back to Destiny 2. And they're like, hey, this stuff is still acting wonky. This stuff is still broken. I don't want to come back. I'm going to go keep playing these other games that I'm having more joy out of, right? And then you're going to have the other ones that leave and they come back and they really want to play, but all of a sudden they're like, I don't want to be caught up. I don't want to take the time or energy. They just decided, you know what? I haven't played in 6 months. I haven't played in a year. It's not worth me coming back. I don't care what they're saying they're going to change. Has anything been said about Bungie's response to changing the seasonal upgrade
that's
grid?
the point that I'm at now, though.
Pebru, they're talking about it in Lightfall. Is it going to be enough, though? Is it going to? And the thing is, even if they change the seasonal model, right? Arthur, my fire team, we were kicked, and this is being on the low end, probably 40 times. We tried 40 times before it started to stabilize, because we literally got 2/3 of the way through the dungeon, and we were like, dang it, we are going to finish this sucker, right? But to go back to Pebru's, they were talking about what they're going to change seasonally. The problem is none of that addresses performance issues, stability issues, errors, bugs, adequate testing, or any of that. Again, though, I do have hope, because they have a couple plays, an employee that's hiring for machine learning. He's posted on LinkedIn about it, looking for other senior level machine learning staff, and machine learning, as I said,
remember hearing about that.
Can help with that. But I don't know if it's going to be enough or not. But they still haven't. I mean, there's a lot of stuff inside the game and how the game mechanics work. We're not talking about that one right now. We're more content is opinionated, and I can get that one's a lot more. You have to really look at the player base and then the statistics for that one. But we're talking about bugs, performance, and everything else, and exposure to what can potentially happen to the consumer's hardware and everything. We still haven't gotten. Arthur, it was stable when we ran it twice. The first time we got it after they stabilized the server, almost after, I want to say 3 hours, we were able to get through our first run. Then we hopped on alts, went around, ran some pinnacles, some of the weekly pinnacles, as well as I think we did a Master Wellspring, and then we did a King's Fall, and the game was pretty stable. And then we also did a second run inside the dungeon. So it's stable. So you should be able to run it tomorrow. As long as at least 3 hours. Yeah, it was at least, I think it was closer to 3.5 hours. I'd have to go back and look. All I know is Geek got Hulk frustrated, and I screamed a few times in the microphone and probably made Mr. Easy clap, Fury, and Yeez, and a few other guys that were in that same party chat go deaf. I was not a thrilled person. My patience level, had I been streaming, I would probably been a lot different and held a lot back, but I wasn't streaming. And even if I had been streaming, I would have raged a little bit and gone off.
Yeah, it probably would have been still pushed.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the weapons are interesting. Having gone on a couple runs, I didn't get the bow. Mr. Easy Clap got the bow, did some testing and everything else. It's more of a gimmick bow. So, yeah. Is Easy Easy is used to the yelling. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But yeah, it took a while. It's going to be hard to run it without the LFG. Hunter, hit us up. Hunter, why I was using Freak more than the other one. I did let
Easy,
one or
it's
two
okay.
fly.
Throw him under the bus.
So Dylan, the bow has
He'll
a really
be
cool
fine.
perk. And Easy, what was it that you said that had they done it differently with the bow? And we all thought it was a great idea for the bow instead of what they put it out there. I can't remember what you said, but it was inspired by what they put on the bow. This is definitely one of those ones like we introduced another exotic weapon into the game, just like we introduced the exotic sword. And we think it's cool, but it has no real practical use because instead, and this is a different sword subject for me, is like the sword. And like when they came out in the TWAB, they identified Weatherhorde, Arbalist, and Divinity as the three most meta used exotics, and all the rest of them were down. And they started to try and say, we're going to nerf these three weapons. And they made some buffs and some nerfs to other weapons. I still, to this day, you can yell and argue your point to me all day long. Whisper as a sniper rifle has no use whatsoever. You should never put a plus 80 airborne effectiveness on a freaking sniper rifle. You're supposed to set up and have box breathing and all this stuff. And no, that didn't work. Connectivity problems. Do you think that was better under Activision? Yes. Yes, they do. I think they would have, under Activision's purview, they would have, when they ran into those resource issues, they would have, I don't know if they would have gone with dedicated servers, but they probably could have spun up bigger servers or additional servers to help with the load. If they made it, okay, this is so easiest thing. If they made it that when the guidance system orb spawns it, made any weapon that shoots through, yeah, that's it. Okay, so when you shoot the bow and you set up the guidance system, it puts this huge circle on the ground, like a portal that everybody can literally walk through. It's taller than your Guardian is, right? If they made it so when anyone in the fire team shot through it, it would pick up that perk to track with the damage buff to it. Say increased damage, and it gives the bullets, whatever weapon firing through it goes through.
What up, Ghost?
I'm Ghost. I'm the creative part of it, maybe not, but the stability part of it and the resources and the extra studios to get them to have actual testing methodologies. Yeah, I would agree, because back before Bungie, and Ghost has a good point on this one. Before, wow, holy crap. Do I have to scroll down all the way to get to it? Before Bungie split from Activision, they had adequate testing procedures and methodologies. And I don't know, since they've left Activision, if that's when their testing procedures had to change because they didn't have maybe a dedicated quality control team.
Yeah, that
would make sense, though. I have no idea. That's speculation.
Well, I mean, that's dare I say, tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
because I mean, we don't really know what they really have going on. Like, you don't know what goes on behind the closed doors over there. So us saying what they do and don't have at this point is kind of just guessing what they have.
Here's an interesting aspect to it. Ghost, thank you so much for that comment. Here's the one thing that they do need to address. Yep, you were beating me to it. And I know a few streamers have hinted at it. One or two have read it online, because Sony purchased Bungie. Sony is a publicly traded company. All of its financials are public. I was watching Swesticle's stream the other day, right? And someone gave him the link for the financials and the stuff and the monies behind the purchase of Bungie and what everything was used for. I went and downloaded that document, started reading through it. And then I went, because I own stock in Sony, I went and started reading through shareholder reports, right? And sometime between February and April, when we get our bigger shareholder report with the detailed analysis, there's going to be a breakdown of what Bungie's doing. And there's going to have to be there's going to be more transparency from a direction of a company. And I don't know if that's something that Bungie's ready for or a lot of their staff is aware of. But there's going to come a point when the money's going to be known. And they're going to have to be accountable for the actions. We do know that they've had in multiple TWABs, several tweets where they came out and they stated the Eververse was for secret missions and better bounties and dungeons and stuff like that. No, not dungeons, but missions, secret missions, exotic missions. But that hasn't been the case because you look at their partnershiping with Ubisoft in this case, 2,000 silver. What is that? $20? Somebody help me out. I haven't bought silver in a long time.
No.
I'm kicking myself because I usually get silver from people, from my friends and family for Christmas or my birthday. And I have 1,900 silver. I'm 100 shy of getting the armor set for the Titan because I think the Assassin's Creed armor looks kind of cool. I think the arc set of armor across the board for all three classes is just halfway done. It's not even completed. So let me get caught up here. Ghost says I couldn't. Okay, I got to catch up.
$10 is 1,000, Dylan, to this. Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, I was just looking at this stuff, man.
Yeah, so Ghost said, I could tell you any crashes with Activision. I couldn't tell you any crashes with Activision there, but after launch dates are now bugged. I'd have to think on that one, and we could probably go back and watch some streamer VODs that were uploaded to YouTube, but I'd be interested. That's a statistical fun. That would be an interesting research project.
It would take some study on that for sure.
Yeah. And then Mark says, I would think that because it bet Activision does major testing. Yeah, Activision definitely has a dedicated quality control group that doesn't just test one game, probably tests lots and lots of different games. So they're used to that process, and Bungie probably lost that. Over the Witch Queen year, it seems that the smaller creators have been showing the frustration more openly with the game in almost all ways. And I'm going to say, Pedro, I'm going to say it's not just the smaller streamers. Okay. I'm not going to put words in streamers' mouths that I follow or anything like that, but I watch their streams, and these are guys that I know and gals that I know that are passionate about the game. And people are like, oh, you're only saying that because they stream full time and that's their income. No. You don't understand. If they weren't passionate about Bungie and passionate about Destiny and Destiny 2, they would have never made it to the point where they're at now. It's that passion, because having streamed before and then taken a year and a half off and then come back to it, I can tell you have to have a passion. You have to have a mentality, and you have to find joy in what you do to make success, right? And if they didn't have that passion, then they wouldn't be successful as a large end streamer. But to see them talk openly and make YouTube videos about how frustrated and how worried they are for a franchise that they love is a little bit heartbreaking. And then you're saying that sounds sappy and everything else. You know what? It might sound a little sappy, but I genuinely empathize with them. I empathize with all the players that are still playing this game, that love this game, but are just freaking at that point. And now some people refer to it as franchise fatigue. This is not franchise fatigue.
Ghost, it was released March 8th, 2018.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, I was just getting him the exact date.
But so I call it one of the guys in the community. Yeah.
My brain is, I just glanced and I just read the MA.
Oh yeah,
I've had enough of brain process for the week, dude.
Yeah,
brain not functioning right now.
Yeah. So those that use
unplugging and replugging.
those that call it franchise fatigue, I think the community, it better fits accumulated frustration. Is what one of the guys in the comments on one of the videos called it. Just accumulated frustration.
Yeah, I mean, because it's built and built and built, and now it's
yeah.
So,
I mean, the question is, so I can ask anyone in here, right? If on day one of a new season, do you log in and go, all right, let's play, and absolutely say there are going to be no bugs? Or do you go to play the game and go, I wonder how many bugs there are going to be today and how bad the bugs are going to be, how quickly it's going to take for them to recover, and should I just wait to log in, give it a couple hours before I even bother? I mean, I think
that I did play, though, for the last time that I actually did play. Oh, let me pull up the calendar on my see what I thought, Geek. So the last time I did play Geek, I waited almost a week before I played the game.
Yeah. After
the season came out.
Well, it's getting like it is with here you go. Here's a good one for you. Windows updates. Mine do not get pushed to my PC the day of the updates or the patch from Microsoft. They have really extensive testing, but it doesn't always go well. I have all the Windows updates delayed a certain amount of time before they go on my system. And I bet you there's a majority, if we were to do a poll out on Twitter and we're able to get the Destiny G community, I would love to know how many people like to play the day, the time, the hour, the minute, the second of the reset versus those that say, hey, I'm going to wait a couple hours or I'm going to wait a day or two and then I'll come in. Because at that point, they're like, I don't care to be the world's first on a dungeon, the world's first on a raid or anything. But I want to be able to log in and not have any issues. And that's, I mean, unfortunately, I think that's where we're at with it. And when before games as a service, before games in the cloud, and this is aging myself a little bit, we had to go to GameStop. We had to go to a store to buy a physical disc. And there was no internet to download and update that disc. We put it in a PlayStation. We put it in an Xbox. Sure, it might have had some internet on it, but it was nothing major. They weren't downloading content. And if we had a Super NES or anything like that, it had to be right. They had to get it right. Now, granted, back then when they were releasing games, those games were, pretty much when they were developed one at a time for each platform. They might have released on multiple platforms, but those games were developed separately, side by side. Remember EB Games, EB Electronic Boutique. Wow, that is I think they still have stores in Canada. Hunter, if you're out here, do you guys still have electronic boutiques up in Canada?
I love diving right in. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, most people now want to wait.
Yeah, I mean, instead of just jumping straight in now, it's almost better to just sit back and wait. Wow, Doug, that takes it back.
Doug's a man after my own heart.
Mew glitch.
Yeah. And I don't want to sound like I'm just ripping into Destiny or the Bungie guys. I'm not saying they don't have a tough job and they don't do a great job. What they do, they try their best, and it might just be procedural. It might be management. These issues that are plaguing them, I do not put on the shoulders of its staff. I put it on the shoulders of the executive leadership and the executive managers. They have to develop better methods and procedures and understand that it's not the community's job to do their job for them. We pay to play the game. We don't pay them to let us have the opportunity to test their game. We want to play. We want to get in. We want to go with our friends. We want to escape our reality and all the crap that we had to deal with during the day, during the week, whatever, and immerse ourselves in a game that we can just go play and not have to worry about it. And when that stops happening, I think it ruins a lot of people's de-stressing mechanics or mechanisms that they might have put in place.
Yeah.
And like for me, I don't want politics in my games. I don't want agendas in my movies or any of that stuff. I go to those. I game to be with my buddies, to be with my friends, to be with all these people, to have a good time, to de-stress and all that stuff. People are like, well, that's not right. I was like, I have a couple of really good friends that I know face to face in real life, and one is local. But I have made tremendously amazing good friends through gaming. One gentleman back when EverQuest first came out is named Adrian. He and I talk all the time. He lives in Kentucky. He is one of my better friends. I met Unforsaken Jay in the Mesa's community years ago, and we finally met last year.
Yeah,
was it last year?
It was 2021, maybe. Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, we finally met face to face after a few years. I have
just so y'all know, his kids are just as crazy on stream as they are in person.
They're like, what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. My kids are the same way. But I can also say, if he's still lurking in here, I like to consider CB not only a good friend, but also an amazing mentor to help me get figured out content creation. But I've had the opportunity to meet him and go spend some time with him. He's a tremendous man. He is just as genuine in person as he is on his streams.
Well,
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
We spoke to him at GCX, and it's like, yeah, there's no persona put on for that whatsoever.
Yeah. Shout out to Doug at the Kmart. We've done a few shout outs to the Kmart shoppers, but Doug is one of those ones that went deaf earlier as I was shouting out the frustrations that was being experienced due to the dungeons. But yeah, we had fun. I don't, and I think unfortunately the accumulation of the issues like this facing Bungie are the reasons outside of game content where they seem to see more and more decline in player population.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that too, man. Because like, if you think about it, I know so many people that are just not playing the game currently either, because they're just like, until something actually changes, I'm not going to load it up.
Well, the other question is we look back. Don't make me time you out, Doug. But as we look at back when Bungie first started, they were known for Halo, right? A massively innovative game in PvP, in gameplay, first-person shooters, all these things really innovative, really kind of cool. The Forge, where players could design and implement maps and all these things that they really do need to bring back, just saying. And then they brought out Destiny, and it was a little buggy, but Destiny made it through its few years and got its ropes and became something amazing. D2, when D2 launched, we lost this stuff, and there was a lot of stuff they had to fix. It took them 6 or 7 months to write the rails, and they became great. But now when you say the term Bungie as a studio, they don't instantly think in the developer world or anything like that. Oh, this is the studio that did Halo. This is the studio that did Destiny. More and more as I go read articles in gaming journals and gamer blogs, oh, it's Bungie, the guys that do bugs. How would you like to be known as a game studio that was once revered and now has a reputation of releasing a game laden with bugs, but has successfully implemented game as a service? So you've got those two different juxtapositions. You got the negative that's now homing over their heads, but you got the positive game as a service. I don't know how to handle that one. So that's why I call them Buggy. Yep. Bungie. But I think we should wrap up this part of it and get into the Game Awards so we can get over my I need to get and stress out, and I want to talk about the games that are coming out that I'm really excited for. I think Jay might be excited for them. I will be completely transparent. I streamed the Game Awards last night, okay? And before we go into the Game Awards, is anyone got any more comments or questions about Destiny 2? Let's try to end our discussion on Destiny and Bungie on a positive note. Now that we've done the dungeon, it's a shorter dungeon, it's a fun dungeon. We're going to be able to run people through it. It should be. I think it'll help some of the content creators with some content and be able to hang out with their communities. One of the things I think that Bungie really needs to bring back is playable dungeons. Hey, Dreamy.
Yes, indeed. There must be stairs everywhere.
Yes.
Take the stairs.
Actually, in the new dungeon, there are stairs. A lot of catwalks and a lot of jumping. On that note, I gotta be right back, bud. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Streamy's fault. I lost what I was thinking about. Well, I think Bungie's already surpassed Bethesda. I think Bethesda has had its ships righted. They have had to push Starfield back a couple of times, and that's because Xbox now owns them, and they're under the purview of Phil Spencer. And like Starfield is supposed to release as a flagship game for the Xbox because it's exclusive, Xbox and xCloud, Xbox PC Pass. They don't want it releasing with bugs and laden and bad performance because that leaves a bad taste. So I think they're going to be very, very careful and very, very specific in their testing to ensure that they have a quality product out the door. All my gripes aside, I can't wait to do the dungeon's fun. And I think it benefits the streamers a lot because Bungie took out the secret quest missions. We lost Whisper. We lost Outbreak Perfected. And a lot of those things that the streamers got to do a lot to interact with their communities outside of raid helps slowly went away. And as a content creator and someone that's helped like Vegeta and CB and a few others with raid helps, right? Even going all the way back to Mesa Sean, sometimes getting 6 people together or 4 people, myself plus 3 others, because you always want to carry 1 or 2 people. It got hard trying to keep them around for 5 or 6 hours. So you'd have to say, how long are we going to do the help streams? Sometimes we can get 4 raids in. Sometimes we only get 3 raids in. It depends on how much help that the people that are getting carried need. So for EOS, yep. Things like that. I think when you take that kind of content away, I think, Mr. Man, how's it going? How are you today? Dylan, I don't believe Mesa is coming back. I talk to him every now and then. He's very happy with his medical life and he's back into guitars and everything. If you still follow him on Instagram, he does tweet every now and then, but he does a lot of posts on Instagram and his Facebook about his dating life as well as the guitars and everything he's into and getting back into playing guitars. So yeah. I don't believe that he'll be coming back to YouTube, at least not anytime soon. I can't put words in his mouth. I haven't talked to him about that area or anything of his life in a long time. But I think Bungie adding a dungeon, like going back to the Destiny 2, is going to be beneficial to the streamers, giving them a little bit more content. The problem now is that they have to do, and I think that they've sort of started getting into understanding and resolving with the rotational dungeons and rotational raids, is keeping them viable. I think I didn't put it in the other video I put out the other day what I would do differently.
Back.
I would make all the dungeons and all the raids, all the gear dropping out of them viable. You know, if you're running the dungeon of
wow.
if
Just catching up on reading.
Yeah, if you play the dungeon of the week or the raid of the week, you're going to get uber pinnacle gear. If you play the dungeons or the raids that aren't the ones of the week, you're still going to get, say, a +1 gear set for going up because those are the harder content in the game. You should be rewarded for it. I think at some point, Bungie just has to get rid of the light system, and they have to stop being afraid of giving us loot. There's other things they can do. So many other games out there just give loot, and people can still chase the loot because there's random rolls, there's random stats, there's random perks, there's random frames. There's just so many different possible combinations, and you type that in, especially within Destiny, because they've got different subclasses. Currently we have Void 3.0, Arc 3.0, Stasis, and Solar 3.0, right? And now we're going to have Strands. So we have 5 different subclasses that have multiple different specs for them, right? Usually 3 different types of subclasses for each class. So that's 3 times. So 15 possible things. And you add all those perks and how they interact with that, the different build styles, the different play styles, and everything. I think there's plenty of loot that can be done out there for people to play and build the suits and armor sets and gear sets to fit how they want to play. And they can spend lots of time chasing after that, because you can't look at people like myself and say, oh, you're just going to get that real quick. I have a lot of time to be able to play the game. I'm at home. If I'm not working and I'm not at Taekwondo with the kids or piano lessons or swimming or whatever else, I'm home. I'm playing games. I'm doing stuff with them. We're out on the weekends, but my nighttime is my relaxing time. That's when I unwind, and gaming is how I de-stress. So I get some more time than your average player. But a lot of those players out there, they only get to play for what, on the weekends, or they only get to play, like I know Hunter Doug is in here. There's too many Dougs in this chat, by the way.
Actually, yeah. Now, see, you used to complain about there being too many J's.
There's still a lot of J's in here too, but he works 14 days on and he's off 7 days. So he has really interesting game windows. How many people have only 5-6 hours a week? So they're going to spend a lot more time. They're going to spend over a calendar time, more time trying to chase those versus people that just get to play 10, 15 hours a week. So I don't think they should be afraid to award the ammo or the armor or anything like that. It's again, I don't know everything that goes into it. I don't have all other player statistics and all that stuff, but I really wish Bungie would come out with some actual legitimate technical blogs and not in-game blogs for twabs.
Oh,
that's just my take on it. So anyways, let's get off of the Destiny 2 thing. I'll say I do like the game. I love the game. I just hope that they figure out the issues and can earn back the trust of the community the right way. All right. That said, I watched the Game Awards last night. Did you watch them, Jay?
Sure didn't. I watched the highlights.
Okay. So the list of games we're about to go through, our Jay was not there for, but he might agree with some of them and we can add to it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hammer it on. And the first one is, I don't know why it played, but is going to be, I've got to unshare and reshare with audio. I figured this out, by the way, Jay.
Did you know?
So, yep. So here when we share, there's on the bottom left-hand corner, it says share.
I was tuning in for my daily dose of 5 minutes of Destiny 8.
You missed it. You can go back on the VOD. I got a little passionate. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you did get passionate there.
I really do wish they would, yeah. We're going to talk about Diablo 4 here in a minute, Dylan.
I can already look at a lot of this, and I don't agree
with the games.
Really agree with it. Yeah.
Well, you play more JRPG, but so we're going to go over them. These are games that intrigue me. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to play them, but they caught my eye. Okay. I played the first, we're going to share this one here. I played the first Jedi game, right? And I believe, Jay, did you play it?
What?
The Jedi Fallen Order?
Jedi Knight game? Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't care for Fallen Order, bro. To be honest.
Okay.
It wasn't, at the time, it wasn't what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So it just never really suit my fancy, bro.
I appreciate that, Mista. So I figured we'd go through these and we'd just briefly touch on them. Let me know if you guys hear the game audio or the video audio. This was live on stage. It was a tank they put on the stage at the Game Award last night to introduce us into the Star Wars sequel called Star Wars Survivor. I played the first game. I loved the game. Calvin played it, actually beat the game himself. That's my 9-year-old. He when I showed this to him, he was really, really excited.
The order is gone.
You guys hear it okay?
I was betrayed.
Yeah.
By the one I trusted most. I will not be imprisoned again.
So he's back now, a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit more beat up. Some might say scruffy looking. I had to work that in there. He's got more mastery of his Jedi strengths and abilities. Doesn't mean that he's still not learning. Be interesting to see. I love how they paired him off against the bounty hunters here.
Remind our friend here why.
So, and the voice acting seems to have gotten a lot. They've taken a lot more in the voice acting now. The second year, yeah, dual wielding Jedi. I was pretty happy with that. This part here reminded me of Hulk from the Avengers movie. Smash. So I am interested in the combat. The combat in the first one was decent, but they've come out and said they've made it a lot more smooth, a lot more transition to it, fluent, and they've had times to perfect it more. So if they've made it that much better, I'd be very, very, very happy about that. And then we saw the Sith using that ability in the first one. Yeah. That he can use it now, that's even cooler. But, so, I'm interested in playing Star Wars Survivor. That's one that caught my eye. I don't know if anybody else is into those type of games. I would assume there's a couple in the chat that is. I know Jedi Joe plays it. Of course, his name's got Jedi in it. I'd be rather dumbfounded if he didn't want to play it. The pre-order just came out for it too. I have not pre-ordered it. It takes a lot for me to pre-order a game, either research or more information. Yes, Lazo. I'll play it when I can get it. Yep. So the interesting thing is it's going to be on all the consoles and the PC. I'd be interested to see if it gets to come to Game Pass. Can you imagine if that comes to Game Pass and it's free to try out? One of the things I love about Game Pass, even if it's a new game and a big game, this is not me being a salesman because I have PlayStation, Xbox, PC, the whole 9 yards, Epic, Steam, everything, right? Is I get to try the game. Even if it's only there for two months or 3 months and then it goes away. If it's something that I like, I'm going to go buy it. So I'm very intrigued by that one. So this made my list of games to keep an eye on. The next one is Dune Awakening. Now, please do not confuse this by any means with Dune Spice, something strategic, something that's on the X-Pass right now. I installed that game. I played about 15 minutes of that game, and I uninstalled that game. It is way complicated. It is a pathetically bad StarCraft wannabe combined with Age of Empires or whatever you want to call it. It just, there's no fluence to it. It's I did not like the game at all. If you like it, I'm sorry. It's just not my cup of tea, and I did not like it.
Yeah, because I remember because we were talking about it, and that's when you told me you tried it and you didn't really care for it. Mm-hmm. So I had never messed with it from that.
It was so overcomplicated. I just, yeah. So Dune Awakening, no, they are bringing out a Dune-based MMO. And one of the things is we saw all these games coming out in the Game Awards. We sorely need, and I think I want Jay's opinion on this one. Yeah, Frank Herbert would have done more than that. I think in this gaming day and age, we need desperately more quality, in-depth, enriched MMOs. Because right now we're sorely lacking. World of Warcraft, it's 20 plus years, you know. They got Dragonflight that came out that's trying to correct the sales. The Blizzard guys with the way they ran WoW is kind of like following the same pattern, or Bungie's following the same pattern that they did. And it's really beating down the things. And now they have to try to overcome and come back, minus out all the political crap that went on the other side of the house. But so you have World of Warcraft, but you have EverQuest and EverQuest 2. Those went away. Guild Wars 2 is trying to go on there. Jay and I tried Guild Wars 2 for a little bit of time. Didn't really hold our attention. It wasn't new.
I mean, it wasn't
innovative.
Bad, right? But to me, right, for that point, I would rather play SWTOR instead compared to Guild Wars.
Yep.
Because I'm just in a hole when I play Guild Wars. Plus, like, it was all right. It wasn't the best MMO I've ever played in my life, but
yeah,
I mean, the story was like, you see, when I think the story's okay, it's probably not going to hold my attention being an MMO.
Yeah. See, I didn't
really feel like my choices mattered though either. So
I think of all the MMOs that are currently live right now, and I played World of Warcraft from day one for 16 or 17 years, right? I will honestly say I think Elder Scrolls Online holds my attention more than any other MMO right now. And SWTOR was actually the one that replaced World of Warcraft when I left World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
Before I
that's
started
what they
playing it,
did,
so,
Joe. Well, you
um,
know, when it got to that point, they did what they had to do with it.
Yep. The fact that it's still around is intriguing, but a lot of these games that used to be huge, massive games that were innovative and groundbreaking, I think they got so to a point where either the creativity was gone or the magic was gone or the direction the company was trying to go because they had to meet bottom dollars because they got so big and everything else. It just changed the overall vibe and vision of what that was originally intended. And I think that's what a lot of them get to. But we also have technology today. It's changed so much.
Yeah, from what it was to what it is now.
Yeah. I want more interaction. I want more in-depth, deep dive, enrichment. Okay, now I'm going to pull anime into this, right? Look at Log Horizon. When these guys in season 1, if you're not familiar with it, great fan, you can go watch it on, I believe, Crunchyroll. When they got ported in from the real world, they got sucked into this MMO called Log Horizon, right? People didn't realize just how real and interactive the NPCs were. Sword Art Online, the NPCs in the game had personalities. They had families. They had kind of things going on. And there's a few other animes where it's just like that. And you're just like, I want an MMO that gives me that. I want an MMO that lets me develop my character free and roaming. Final Fantasy 14 kind of did that because you could select this character type and do this character type. And you go from a samurai to a white knight, white mage to a red mage, all these different things. But yeah, Hack series is a good example of that as well. Leisure Suit Larry.
That's true.
But we don't really have that. Everything's following the same pattern. So when I see a new MMO come out, it catches my eye, and the graphics on this one looks good. The history and the source material, because I'm a huge Dune fan and Frank Herbert fan, catches my eye. So when I'm going to play this one, and I'm intrigued by it, I am overly cautious though because I don't know much about the studio, and yeah, but this is a game that's supposed to come out next year. So will it be worth trying? Possibly.
I have a dream. It starts in the desert.
So the graphics are good.
You cling to life. You find others. Friends. You wander the dry, dirty streets of civilization. In the ancient halls
I
of
like the
testing
atmosphere.
stations,
The lighting's
you
good.
find answers. You seek the secrets of the
It's got a
ever-shifting sands.
decent musical vibe. It's got the mouses in here from the
Spice.
moons. The spice. The actual ornithopters, as they're called. Gotta go get that spice. Now, the question is, how much does this feel like any other
You
game?
do all
What do
of
they
these
do
things
that's going to
in my
make this game
dream,
feel
sleeper.
different? And I
I
don't know
am
yet.
Terrified
It's telling a story and it's
of
sticking to
what
a good story.
happens when you awaken.
But you can sign up for the beta now, by the way, if you want. I did sign up for it. Luckily, they have a beta, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be closed off to everyone. It's going to be like the first Descendant beta, is what I understand.
Yeah, just
Everybody's
let everybody
gonna
kind of get their toes.
Just
into
get
it
in,
and
find
everything.
out if it's something that you like, get some feedback. I think that's a great first step. So I'm going to definitely be checking out Dune Awakening.
Right.
The next one I had not even heard of. And this one caught my attention when they said magical first-person shooter. They said you take everything from a first-person shooter, get rid of the guns, and start thinking medieval with magic. And I was like, okay. But again, this is supposed to come out next year. They didn't show a whole lot in the trailer, so I marked it again as something I'm going to have to follow and keep a close eye on. But some of these games, Jay, they weren't even on the list that you and I were, following, right? So these were first-time announcements. This is one of them.
great many people died in this war.
Your men killed my family. The Immortals are more than soldiers. We're the champion protectors of Lucy.
Hero of Yilthium Fields.
Hero of Yilthium Fields.
At first I thought Immortals like Marvel, and it's not. It's different Immortals. These are defenders on a different type of plane.
All you are is angry.
All of Avium is crumbling apart. You don't win in ever war. You help us win this. I'll know you're ready.
Yep, I'd say so, Joe.
Yeah, they put some time into the voice. I love the perspective and how they use magic, or they hint at the use of magic. So again, it's supposed to come out next year. It's got my attention.
Yeah, but just based off of that, it's
that's not something I can go say I'm going to buy it, but it's intrigued me to the point where I'm going to follow it
that, you know?
and do more about it, because I'm always looking for it. And it's multiplayer, Jay. It's multiplayer. I think it's 3 or 4 person multiplayer. So that was another one I looked that up. So there's a benefit. I definitely think we need more multiplayer games, not just single player games.
I think so.
Now, this one is not something I can traditionally play, but it did catch my eye. It's a survival PvE survival build game. I bet you anything Glad plays it, because it's his favorite type of game in the world.
He's probably going to play it.
Yeah, but I've played a few of them, and I haven't stuck with them because they just didn't hold my interest or creativity or anything. This actually, from what I saw and what I read about afterwards, just actually might.
For you,
this is called Nightingale.
1889. The world as you know it teeters.
Oh, Remnants too. Yeah, I saw that. It's not on my list though. The dude's got magic and some skills. He didn't look like he would, but he did. I love he was carrying around a hammer, an archaeology hammer.
Has collapsed.
Yeah, Bob, we'll have to wait and see what more looks like.
Your people are cast.
We'll cover it more as we get more information on it.
Reality. Realms alive with monstrous beasts, eldritch creatures, and dangers.
For a survival game, right? They put a lot of time in design and view. I mean, you tell me the last time, like, you get Valheim or any of these other survival games, they're not on a graphical level like this, right?
Uncover the secrets of
I don't know of a survival game that's this graphical. Ark kind of is trying to in Ark 2.0. It's Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I think Mary Poppins. But you got big giants and friendly giants and all this other stuff, and this is where you get to explore and do quests and survive. And I think there's PvE and PvP, so you got to build up your base and protect it from not only wild animals and mythical creatures, but invaders and other stuff. So it kind of catches my eye a little bit, but
yeah.
Again, I don't know enough. Ha 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 ha. You're a funny man, Joe. Alright. So there's that one. This one is Wayfinder. I'm trying to remember it right now. My brain is kind of going out, so let's just play the trailer and then we can figure out what it's about. I had to put it on the list for some reason.
The Gloom. It's a rival broadcast.
Oh, it's a multiplayer.
But we found a way
It kind of reminded me with Overwatch graphics, but it's PvE.
We choose the path.
It felt like Overwatch, Torchlight-ish.
We face the danger.
I'd say that's more
Kinda.
Torchlight-ish.
Yeah.
We control the chaos. To reconnect our
I mean, yeah, it's definitely more of a Torchlight feel to me.
But they call it a multiplayer online, so there's more, but I don't know what scale. Just that they referred to it that way. So I'm going to be getting more and more information on these. I haven't dug into them today. I just learned about them last night, so it's going to be some time, and we can expect to cover games like this more on the channel or my channel. But we're just introducing them tonight. I'm not, there's too many games to go deep diving in. And for every game I do a deep dive on, I want to make sure that Jay's got a game that he wants to deep dive in on as well. Although I think there's 1 or 2 games in here he's going to be interested in. Not all of them, definitely not all of them. This one caught me just because the graphics and that it is a multiplayer, and Calvin and I are always looking for multiplayers to play.
Yeah.
So that made my list. All right. This one I've been talking about for a long time. It comes out June 6th of 2023. Pre-orders went live yesterday. I thought something was up because almost every content creator I know out there released videos yesterday morning. Riker, Azarek Gaming, tons. And they're not just small videos. They went into Bungie and they got to play the game for over 50 hours. And they're giving their full depth reviews and everything and their opinions. And when all these, and when they got all this information, after Bungie's leaks and their family members having problems, they came back and had tons of great things to say, and that they had worked and did a summit kind of a way, and they gave their feedbacks and they took it back and everything. That the beta is going to be worth time.
So, Geek, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did they go to Bungie to play Diablo 4?
I mean, Destiny. Damn it. They went to Blizzard, not Bungie. They went to Blizzard.
I really let you go off on that tangent for a minute.
Blizzard. They went to Blizzard to play. Oh, right.
That's great, dude. Because I even asked you. I was like, so they went to Bungie, and you were like, yeah, you just kept with it. So I continued to let you.
They went to the Blizzard offices to play, and their videos had me going. And all of a sudden, we got this.
Just trying to make sure you knew which company you were talking about. That's all.
I appreciate it. My brain is confused. Now they all of them said, this is not for kids.
The worst part is, Bob, I said Bungie like 3 times.
I know I didn't get it.
He just kept going with it. So I pushed it further.
Yeah. Daily giveaways. Yeah, Epic is partnered with them, and I believe Xbox as well. There's other news that might be coming out about where this is actually getting released. Even though this is speculation at this point, even though Activision is not 100% sold or bought out or merged with Microsoft Xbox, there's nothing that absolutely says that they have to honor an agreement that's expired with PlayStation. Just be mindful of that. Anyways, this trailer is freaking awesome. All right, here we go. Not for kids. Definitely not for kids. I'll stream this game, but it's going to be labeled for adults, and I don't think I'll let Calvin watch it. Unfortunately.
No, you're probably not going to.
You'll see why in a minute.
What I'm saying, it happens like that sometimes, though.
Mm-hmm. But he understands. There's a game in here that he's desperately waiting for, and you'll know which one that is when we get to it. But I love what happens here in a minute. How they animated it and did the scene was freaking awesome. am I talking about is for Christmas or weekly free game. Oh, yeah, Mark. Yeah. And instead of weekly, it's going to daily.
May we fight true in his holy name.
This part coming up is, I saw it, I just, oh. You're like, what is she doing? What is she thinking? Is she insane?
Blessed be the light.
You're like, she's gonna die. She's so far away. I'm pumped for this. I actually did the pre-order. After all the videos I watched and then this, I did the pre-order.
Oh, so you did pre-order?
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've done a pre-order. This one I pre-ordered.
Yeah.
I trust when Riker gives a good review, I trust Riker.
Yeah.
He hasn't stood me wrong yet. And since he got 50 hours of gameplay, that speaks volumes. So he's got that in-depth.
But he got that 50 hours of gameplay at Bungie, right?
Yeah. Now, had it been Legacy Gaming or something, I probably wouldn't have. Shade Throne. But yeah, so I'm really excited for Diablo 4. I did the pre-order. I was worried if
it looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I was worried if I was going to get into the open beta or not. You can still technically get into the open beta without doing a pre-order or anything. If you do the pre-order, though, you're guaranteed open beta. Just FYI. So I will be playing this one. I'll be vetting it as I go. Calvin and Gabby have watched the Aliens movies and a couple of horror flicks because it just keeps them from getting scared easily. Like they don't get super scared easily. They get scared of other stuff. It's through BattleNet correct. You buy it through BattleNet, and the deluxe one is $100. They have another one for I think it's $80 or $70 or something like that.
Right, easy
music, right?
Every
right.
time you try to watch the trailer,
all of these videos are linked in on the YouTube channel in the description. I couldn't do it for Twitch. Twitch doesn't have that option. But if you're on the YouTube side, if you click on the expand on the description, links to every single one of them are in here. Fantastic video. Now, Easy, were you the one that told me last night you never really played the Diablo games? Because you need to try them. They're awesome. That requires work. A level of effort. Okay, we can tell. You know what? I think Easy might be a former Bungie employee. Guess what? Start ordering part. Oh yeah, Joe's going to be ordering PC parts.
Yeah, he told me.
I need to. I emailed to procurement for where I work, Joe. I won't know pricing until Monday. If they're still in the office where I work, they shut down for the holidays. So 2 to 3 weeks, everything just stops and the employees get the time off. So,
man.
Okay.
Hey, look, this isn't Crota, okay?
Nope. So now this one I have done one closed beta for. I absolutely enjoyed the closed beta. Even though it was all in Japanese, I didn't understand a single word of it. I was holding up my phone using Google Lens to translate what was on the screen. That's how badly I have literally wanted a new MMO, something I can play with multiple friends online, enjoy, and don't have the gotcha mechanics thrown in my face and all overbearing microtransactions. If you follow the company, they have said that they're not going to be overbearing on their microtransactions. They do have a store. They do have transmogs, and they have some like XP boosts and some other stuff. But overall, it's not pay to win, and it does. So I'm very excited about it. It's called Blue Protocol, and they announced last night that instead of just releasing in Asia, they are releasing globally, worldwide, on every platform: PlayStation, Xbox, PC, I think Nintendo, and Steam Deck. So I'm pretty excited. couldn't find the full trailer. These are the developers. This is the developer here from Bandai. For those guys that don't know, Bandai's is also the same guys that have make my Gundam kits and everything. So yeah, you got a really cool story and some good financing behind it.
Yeah, Geeko's looking at it. It's I was looking at where it was coming out and stuff. Pretty sure it's released.
Yeah, everywhere.
They did it smart though. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. That's it.
Yep.
There's no.
They didn't try to go backward old generation.
Nope.
So
they're not, because.
Now they did. Yeah, they did their testing when I translated the page for the technical recommended 20,000 series cards are just fine because it's not super graphically intense. It looks good, but here we go.
That gave me a Terra vibe first when the little cut thing to come into the thing.
They want it to feel more anime than like Terra or Dota. They really want an anime vibe to it, and I think they've got that anime feeling. And the cell shading and the animation styles they use, I think I like those. Okay, Bob.
Before the war. Before the darkness. Do you remember?
You know what, Geek?
And this does have the Holy Trinity in its sword and board shield tank.
But do you know what this game looks like to me? It looks like the updated version to WildStar.
You could say that this is not the same studio. WildStar just started. They had an announcement. They have a different game that the WildStar studio is
saying. Yeah, it does look like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan, I completely understand. That's why I played Persona so much.
I'm 100% right there with you, Dylan. I want something. I want to at least be able to sink in like 100 to 200 hours into the game. And like what Riker and all of them were saying about Diablo 4 and the open world and the approach to it, where it's, even though it's only 3 or 4 players that you can play together with at a time, the fact that it's open world and they're all speculating the thousands of hours you're going to end up playing, and you get the seasonal model and everything else, kind of like D3. But it's, yeah, I have a feeling I'll be playing Diablo 4 for a very, very long time. But Blue Protocol is something I can get into. See, I was originally really excited, and I'm still excited for Starfield, and I'm going to try it out because it's going to come to the X Pass. But for some reason I didn't click on it. Starfield's a single player game, and so single player, I got No Man's Sky. Right now, is just Starfield more graphically intense? Is it a better story, better mechanics, better ships, all that stuff? Probably, but I really miss the ability. I don't need to be playing with millions of people. I don't need to have a huge server. Just let me be able to go online, launch an instance of a game, and have my buddies join me. A couple people so we can go run amok. I can play Chewbacca. Jay can play Han Solo. We could throw Joe in there as Princess Leia or something. You never know. But, you know, those are the kind of games I was really looking forward to. Yeah, I did. But yeah, so I'm really excited for Blue Protocol. I did do the closed beta about 1.5 years ago. They've made a lot of improvements. The game goes live next year. I'm excited for it, and I'm actually signed up for it. I haven't purchased it or anything, but I did do a beta sign up. So the next game we have is this is the one that Calvin wants to play. My 9-year-old son. I'm going to let the video speak for itself. It was originally a different game studio that had it. It got taken away from them when the movie started coming out because they wanted the game to be better.
And we're live.
Come on, big guy.
Sequencing at 17%. Loading memory core now.
It's all the same. Only the names will change. And every day it seems we're wasting away. Another day.
Darth Maul.
Just to get back home.
All right. Let's get lucky.
Any idea yet? Nope. What robot do you know is yellow? Calvin really wants to play this game. So what I did when I saw the trailer for this last night, I lost it.
Yeah, I mean, can't be surprised though.
I was excited. I'm a diehard Transformers fan. I think Michael Bay's movie releases is an abomination to the comic books. They tried to wussify Optimus Prime, all this stuff. The Cyberverse series is bringing that back, given all that stuff. This game was originally with a different studio under a different title, and the people wanting it done did not like what was being done, did not like the direction the studio was attempting to take it, agendas and whatnot. And so they pulled it and put it with a different company or a different studio. And
right, easy.
You're a dork. So we're getting Transformers Reactivate.
I mean, you did do that to yourself.
I know.
Man.
Wally doesn't have yellow arms. He has white arms, right? You're going to go, his body's yellow, but his arms are not. I don't think his arms are yellow. Anyway, so Calvin's really excited for this one. I'm excited. It's multiplayer, so this is something I will be able
they're
to.
not hands, though. They're claws.
They're yeah. Wally. I'm so tired of that movie. But so we're excited for this one to play it in the house. This one, Easy was in my stream last night. He hadn't heard about. Oh no, not this one. This one. We're just gonna we'll do this one first. Hadn't heard of this one, or I believe he hadn't heard of this one. This is one I've been following and know I will be getting. It's called Lords of the Fallen. This is a new trailer for it. Has a Dark Souls kind of vibe to it.
Giver of life.
But a different mechanic. Totally different studio.
Divine radiance. We trust. Shield our souls with grace. Our hearts with hope.
Definitely not for kids.
And guide our
path. I don't see your kid playing this.
Turn our gaze to what lies beyond your luster, where wickedness dwells, and the shadows reign. Arm us with your golden splendor, so that together may we vanquish the darkness.
All interest. Yeah, dark, right?
We walk.
A medieval. I don't know how much playtime there's going to be to the game, replayability or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's
the Lord.
Yeah, I've been following long enough to know that they're saying that the base campaign is supposed to be around 60 to 65 hours. So okay. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm ready for it. Again, there are plenty of games. So for all these games that we've shown are coming out next year. So there's going to be things to do.
We'll see more and everything
where they're rebuilding certain game servers. More Shadowthrone. This one we've all played. I don't know about everybody, but I have played the crap out of this game. Henry Cavill played the crap out of this game. I believe Easy's played this one. Jay, you've played Witcher, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. What they've done with the remake of The Witcher 3, and it's yeah, it looks great.
And she's in danger. You will find her and bring her to me.
They updated the animation, the engine, the mechanics
at all costs.
I really wish that The Netflix writers would have stayed to their guns or stayed to their story and the game lore and material.
A legend cannot be killed, can it?
December 14th, just a few days away. And if you can see, if you already own The Witcher 3, no matter what platform you're on, the update is free. Just keep that in mind. So I'm excited. I'm going to load it. I'm going to play it. I don't know if I'll play it during Christmas or not, but yeah, I'm ready. I don't mind revisiting old games. I think that's one of the best things about them when they breathe new life into them, especially since they're breathing it in for free. CD Projekt Red is nailing it. They do have another Witcher coming out, and I think what they've done with this, I don't know if they originally planned to charge for it or not, but I think they made a brilliant marketing move on this one, is to bring this out for free, to keep the nostalgia alive, to keep the desire for it. And all of a sudden, a year from now or a year and a half from now, they're going to keep building on the Witcher 4 coming out. And I'm looking forward to that one. I'm really looking forward to that. They're remaking. Yes, they are, Dark. Yeah. So this one came out first. The Witcher 1, they actually have to bring into an all new engine. So it'll be interesting to see how that one feels after it's done. But you better believe I am going to go play it. Fix Andromeda. I don't know. I can't speak to that one. I wouldn't be surprised. All right. This one here, I had to go back and look. I have the first 4. I didn't get the 5th one. But everybody knows, and Jay, you're familiar with Armored Core, right? Have you played Armored Core? It's an anime game based off anime and really strong in Asia and everything. It's mech based. But I saw this last night.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but it wasn't my thing to play.
Okay.
Because it's just not
from what I understand, if I've played them before, it's you're in mechs, you upgrade the mechs and everything else. Yeah. And it's essentially your mech. It's got a little bit of the God Eater feel to it.
Yeah.
With some of it. So but this one caught my eye. And I'm looking forward to this one as well. Again, another Bandai Namco game. I'm so tired of ads. I say that, but I'm wondering how many ads have popped up on my stream. But Calvin likes playing mech games, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to get. I say I'm using that as an excuse. I'm going to have to get it for him so I can play it. That's how it works, right? But essentially, the Earth is washed over in like a nova, a cosmic nova, and what was left, it's pretty cool, amazing graphics. It's ash, by the way, not snow. I'm sure several people already saw these from last night, because,
yeah, probably.
But yeah, your robots and mechs, and this is you, really bad bud. I want him to break Appleseed and the mech combat is pretty cool. Don't think Titanfall. Titanfall's not on this level. This is a lot different from anything on those lines. The closest I could say is you could think mech combat, maybe a little bit Titanfall, influencing with Blade Runner kind of atmosphere, environment kind of a thing. I can't wait to see where they've taken the game. So if that comes out, I'll be Only 3 more. I promise, 3 more, and then I won't bore you guys anymore. This one I watched Miss Watts to whatever. What is it? What
5,000 watts?
Yeah, 5,000 watts. She was one of the ones chosen to play it. She was able to play it on the close on her stream, and I'm following this one. I don't think I'll pre-order it, but it does look like something I'll play and that I'll enjoy because it's just the genre. It's called Wild Hearts.
Yeah, I remember playing it.
At first, it reminded me a little bit of Monster World, Monster Hunter. Giant Phoenix, and then we got the cat. I've seen something like that in Final Fantasy. It's got to be something from the culture.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about the game, so I'm gonna have to read more about it.
Something I'd pre-order, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. See a lot of games, if I catch my eye, I'm gonna intrigue. I'm gonna follow them. If it's something I really like, I'll probably buy it. This is probably one I'm gonna wait till it comes out. I'm gonna get some reviews and some sense of it. I might wait for a sale, but it looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, I'll probably wait, but I'll keep an eye on it.
Yep. This one, yeah. I'm excited for this one. I'll play the crap out of it.
Take Joshua and get to safety.
I'm not going without you.
Final Fantasy 16.
I'm going to hold the enemy here while you make your escape.
Your Highness! Run! No!
Clive!
Joshua!
So you get an idea, see how combat goes, and then how magic is working and skill stuff.
Is a weapon.
And then you get to see the supers. Their version of the super. It's pretty freaking awesome. This will be one that I buy.
I sometimes wonder if I am controlling it, or if it's controlling me.
Pick a fight with the wrong person. I always look fun. That's just me.
No matter how bitter the truth that awaits me, I will press on.
Yeah. He did.
Good boy.
The animation looks good. The story's definitely good. They've been developing it for a long time. They wanted to get it right. They did push it back, I think, twice.
I won't be dying today.
Come to me, Ifrit!
Looks so good. So good.
Yeah, I remember so many people talking about it and everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one, I was flabbergasted. I liked it so much that we ended up getting a second copy so I could play it on the Steam Deck. I'm not going to say which one this is, but I know a lot of players. Otto played this one a lot. or the first one. This is number 2.
Yeah, I mean, you played a lot.
And I think they did a really good job of how the direction was taken. With the new hat and the lead, I don't feel like it's an agenda or anything like that. I feel like it's fun. It's following a story. It's following all these things. They took what was from the first game, changed it up, left mechanics, changed weapons, introduced new abilities and spells, and magic was great.
Good. Not good enough. We can but learn. And the greatest teacher is out there. Now go. Death to Kronos. Death to Kronos.
This is an opportunity for you to make a better future for us all.
This is a studio that got replayability down to science.
About ready to give in?
You play that game, I don't know how many hundreds of hours I've played Hades. It didn't get old. It did not ever feel old.
Okay, if I call you wench like that?
Vengeance for your family awaits you.
He is no mere titan. He is time itself, and time cannot be stopped.
Wait for me, Father. I'll be this.
Yeah. So those are the games that got me. Honorable mentions would be The Stranding 2. Which the first one I looked at, I watched a couple streams of it, didn't have me enough. The second one looks maybe intriguing enough that if I could get a hold of it for a discount, that I would probably play.
Yeah, if you catch it on sale, then you'll probably mess with it. You know, yeah, I understand.
But yeah, so there's a few games. Another one is a Ghostbusters movie a Ghostbusters game that's coming out. I totally forgot about it till just now. Let me see if I can find a trailer for it. See, because it looked fantastic. Ghostbusters. See if I can find it here real quick. Warhammer. Oh, okay, here we go. Hold on. Let me reshare.
Yeah, that way everybody else can see it.
Yup. I don't know how I didn't have this on my list. I'm a Ghostbusters fan.
The city by the
This
bay
looks
is
awesome.
under siege by forces not of this world.
4-player.
We need new heroes. Fearless recruits. With the
And
guts
it's
to
VR.
look evil in the eye. Who we gonna call? You.
I'm gonna hurt myself so bad breaking over couches and stuff doing this.
meters out.
I got a few hits. Poke on me.
Blast it!
Get slimed, baby, in VR.
Behind you. Trap out.
That was close.
Holy.
We're gonna need a bigger trap.
We're gonna need a bigger trap.
Yeah. Ghostbusters, Rise of the Ghost Lord, coming in 2023.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for that one too. But I totally forgot about that till just now. I'm It sounds weird, but hey. So yeah, those are the ones. And then Jay had one that he wanted to talk about. I'll let you explain it.
I mean, it wasn't like the hugest thing or anything, but you know how so we had the old Game Wars that came out. So wait, did you put? And it just looks weird being like that because the way that you did that, Geek. The
Where did the
capitalization.
Where did the
I sent
tweet
you
go?
because Geek, it's actually NIS, not NSI.
Oh, it's a typo.
That's why it looks so
Fix
weird to
that.
me. Can I edit this?
Yeah, you can edit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that.
I had it's because Twitter, when I closed the one Twitter window, I closed it all the way.
There we go. That's better. There we go, Geek. That's what it looks like. So they did their own kind of thing for the games that they've released this year and everything, and so they have put up their own little poll thing a while back while the rest of this is going on. And so it ended up being that the game that me and Geek had talked about a few weeks ago when it came out. I say a few
And I
weeks
bought
ago,
it.
but it's been
It's a
out for a
month,
few
but
months. So I say a few weeks, but it's actually been since September, October, sometime. But yeah, they ended up choosing Trails from Zero as their
a great
winner
game.
for the game.
I haven't beat it yet. I've done 20 something hours into it. I think there's 80 hours in that game.
Yeah, that's if you just do the story.
Yeah, there's a lot of content.
Yeah, that's the
and
thing.
you got to, and
they take a while.
You also have to develop some of the relationship levels and things that impact the end of the story. So,
yep.
But yeah, good game. And while that didn't make it, see, it's like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was listed as one of the games to two different spots for the Game Awards, but didn't win anything. I was just happy to see them honorably mentioned. Fantastic games. So
yeah, I think as more people start to branch out stuff and mess with other stuff, then
yeah. But I'm just happy we've got a bunch of games coming out. We've had, for me personally, it's been a game drought of new games that intrigue me or catch my eye or anything like that. And I'm ready for new games. I'm ready for great minds. I'm ready for something new that I can play, that I can enjoy. And I think there's enough games out there. I think Ghostbusters on VR is going to be a lot of fun for the family. I think I'm going to really enjoy Diablo 4. I think some of the other games that are on my list, like Jedi Survivor looks good. I like the first one. I'll probably play the second one. Dune Awakening, again, has my eye. Immortals has my eye. Nightingale, I want to see more about. Wayfinder, kind of intrigued by it. Diablo 4, I'm definitely playing. Blue Protocol, I'm definitely going to give a go on. Transformers Reactive, I'll play with Calvin. Banishers, which I skipped. I apparently closed the trailer for it. It looks pretty good. So honorable mention, there's another one out there called Banishers. They fight ghosts and stuff, kind of in like a Witcher environment. Witcher remake, Lords of Fallen, Armored Core, Wild Hearts, Final Fantasy, Hades 2. Fantastic roll call for 2023. And that does not include, and this is where I think Microsoft was pulling back a little bit. And I don't know if that's because of their current ongoing merger with Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, or any of that other stuff, or they just didn't want to. But they've got Starfield coming out in 2023, Redfall coming out in 2023. Avowed is, I believe, coming out at the end of 2023, and there's two other games in there, but they have 5 major exclusives that they've stated are coming to the Xbox and the X Pass this year. So I'm excited to see what we get.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a wait and see thing and everything to see more of certain games and everything, man. So
yeah,
I mean, like the more content we see of such game will give us a better idea of what's going to be coming and decide from there.
I'd be down with that easy. I would definitely be down with that. Make the ghost, the ghost lady, the girlfriend, the wife, whatever she is, turn that into the boy's mom or something. That'd be freaking awesome. So, again, for those on YouTube, we'll be uploading this. I'll be leaving this on YouTube. By the way, Jay, I found out something after I talked to CB and did some more research. The algorithm and the mechanics has changed on YouTube. We don't have to unlist the live streams any longer, it will not negatively impact our visibility or static content that is uploaded. It actually supports it because searching is done differently than we originally thought, or has been changed. So you don't actually have to unlist it. So those that are watching this on YouTube, the links to all these games are in the descriptions below, except for Ghostbusters. I'll go back and I'll edit that. Yeah, by the way, Geek, we are going to do those Dungeon Triumphs tomorrow. What time? Easy. Morning works better for me than afternoon. My wife does have a lunch appointment from 11 to, she's going out with the girls, so she'll be gone for a couple hours. So in the afternoon, I'm supposed to go shopping. I'm probably going to
he's got a list, so
yeah. I got to get a few more Christmas lights up and do some more stuff in the garage, and then I got to go, as long as it's not raining too bad, I got to go scoop poop in the backyard too. I can't wait till the kids are old enough to do that by themselves. Doing helps. So why don't you and I do that while they're doing that, and we can tell Fury, ha ha ha. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
He's not kidding.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get back on tonight. And people are like, we're somebody that complains about Destiny 2. You sure played a lot. Now, I've got family coming in from Japan, and they're going to be here for 2.5, 3 weeks over the Christmas holiday.
There you go.
Done, Joe. Done. Although my wife might yell at me, and she wants to pay me to do it. So yeah, so I'm trying to knock all that stuff out, and then I got a bunch of games because I also have One Piece coming out in January. We have Hogwarts coming out in February. We also have Octopath Traveler 2 coming out in February. There's a lot of games coming out. There are a lot of games coming out. There's another game coming out in March. I can't remember which one. I think I saw on the Game Awards. One of those ones was that's one of them. But there's another one that is coming out that I saw as well. And then right in April it is the Diablo 4 open beta, and that's supposed to be for a week, if not more. And then they might, if they do it like they did in the past, that might just play right on into the June release. So the first 6 months, there's more than 6 or 7 games, and that doesn't include with Starfield and everything. So I'm kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie. I got a lot of games to play, and a wife that's gonna yell at me for playing too many games. So yeah. But yeah, so I'll probably play a little bit more later tonight, and get that going. I need to knock out the lower pinnacles on my Warlock, and then I'll just have the Titan left, and then yeah. I'm not in a rush to get to base 1590. I figured it'll take me 2 weeks, maybe 3, because after we get all this stuff done with the dungeon, then it's just a matter of Tuesday reset stuff. So we'll be back to just Tuesday.
We'll be back to doing what you were doing beforehand.
Yep, just essentially playing Destiny on Tuesdays, and then once we get everything we need, probably every other Tuesday. It's not a game anymore where I have any FOMO or fear of missing out or anything. Just a lot of other stuff to do. So,
yeah, I hear you.
Oh, and I forgot, we also have another beta for First Descendant, third quarter of next year. It looks like.
Oh, do it now.
So, yeah, there's lots of stuff coming out.
Interesting.
Anyways, let us know in the comments on our videos or on Twitter or in the Discord or anything what games y'all are looking forward to playing. If there's games coming out we didn't cover that you would like us to go into in depth, I'm going to, over the next month or two, we'll probably touch, or at least I'll touch more in depth on each one of these videos or games as I find out more and more about them.
Yeah, once we actually get some stuff going there too, you know?
Yep. Oh, there's another one. Forspoken, the demo is available on the PS5. I have installed it on the PS5. I have played for about 20 or 30 minutes. Jay, I recommend installing the demo. Worth installing. It's good gameplay. You'll have fun. It's actually a pretty good game.
What am I supposed to install?
Forspoken, the demo. It's available on the PS5.
I'm not gonna do that.
So,
I might. I'll look at it.
So
I'll think about it.
Cool.
It's something to think about anyway.
Yep. And then Jay was telling me he's been playing Pokemon Scarlet. They got the patches out and everything, so it's a lot more stable, and it looks like they've got some more stuff coming in the pipes. So, yeah, I'll probably have to go play that some more.
You know, I was today years old when I realized that you can level up Pokemon from the beginning, and it doesn't matter what level it gets to, it always listens to you.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You can do what?
You can take one from the beginning that you catch, level it up past the level for gym badge, and it just constantly listens to you.
I hadn't really thought about it, but
I never knew that.
Huh.
I thought you always use gym badges to level it.
Oh.
You don't. I was mistaken.
Huh.
Now you're thinking about it and you're like, huh.
That's only in Scarlet Violet. It's a new thing. Oh, okay.
No, because people have said it's in other ones too, dude. It's not a new thing.
I'd have to go back and look. I'd literally have to go back and look. I know I got Acreus the other day on sale.
Because I've heard from, like, I've been looking into it all day, talking to other people. Because I was curious about it.
It worked in the original Red and
Yeah,
Blue.
see, that's what Doug says.
Huh. I had to go try that out. I mean, I think I might have done it. I just not realized it.
Yeah, I think that's the part of the problem is you don't realize it until somebody mentions it.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
It.
I don't pay attention to badges. It's just something you have.
No,
you know,
I never do. I never pay attention to it.
I never really paid attention to the badges. And I pay more attention to how many Pokemon balls I have, what type of balls I have. Don't take that the wrong way. Just take pause. That's the only Pokemon that will listen because it's your first. Yeah.
But now, Doug, it's all of them that you catch yourself.
Huh.
But I never knew that.
I might have to get it loaded.
Never paid attention.
Well, the first one, yeah.
I just
know
never
Easy's big on the Pokemon games too. So,
well, I mean,
I played them, but
the
I'm
first
not
one I've played on the Switch. I've not played any of them on the Switch. Besides this
I've
one.
done this one. I started Acreus.
I mean, I have Acreus. I just haven't played it yet.
I did Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I didn't.
And then Acreus and the other one. So this will be my fourth
Pearl
Pokemon
and
game
Diamond?
on the Switch. Pearl and Diamond, yeah. This will be my fourth one. 200, 400 shiny decks for Baldry.
Hey, Easy. I will just let you know, like, yeah, I started playing 5 days ago, and that's about the point that I'm at. Not shiny, but 200 out of 400 geek.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I realized I catch too much stuff.
Got to catch them all, man. You're not Ash. You're what's the other kid's name that runs around with Ash in the TV series? Somebody help me out here. In the animated TV series,
Easy probably knows it. Like the
what's
back
the name
hand.
of the kid that runs around with Ash? Hold on, I'll look it up. Pokemon Journeys characters, maybe. That sounds right, maybe.
But see, I figured that Easy would know. Easy has the answer.
The new one. This one.
No, you said the
Pokemon
new one.
Journeys. Journeys, the series. Is that going to take me? It's going to take me to Netflix. Let's see if it has me the name. Characters. Here we go. Pikachu, Ash. Yeah, Go. You're talking about, yeah, it's Go. It's Go. The here. I'll share. This one right here. This is Go, right? Yeah, it's Go. I just started watching Journeys the other day. My kids have got them memorized. Pokemon is huge in my house. I know for a fact my sister-in-law is coming over here from Japan. They are bringing over some only available. They're stopping by the Pokemon store in Fukuoka, and they're bringing over available only in Japan Pokemon cards, and that are in Japanese. So I can't wait. So I think, yeah, Ash is more about being the best Pokemon trainer. Go is just passion. I want them all, man. So I think I kind of relate more to Go, but yeah. Don't tell that to my daughter, though. She has a crush on Ash. She thinks Go's too busy. So I was like, I can't keep up with my daughter to begin with. Anyways, so yeah. Podcast went a bit longer than I thought it was going to go tonight. We covered a lot of games. We got a lot of topics.
I mean, it happens sometimes, dude. Overall,
I know that we ranted a little bit about Destiny. I love the game. I wish the game was doing better. Hopefully they figure it out and Lightfall figures out, and I'm hoping it releases without bugs, but I think if it releases with bugs, it's going to be, because there's a lot of people waiting to see what happens. I think it's going to be a hit and miss experience across the board. So fingers are crossed. With any luck, we'll have it. So anyways, I've run out of steam, and I can still keep going, but what you got, Jay?
Yeah, I think for now that'll be fine to wrap up for the day. Give us some time to look up some more stuff too. Joe has a question. What's the question?
Yes,
Joe?
sir. Answer.
But there's not a question mark, so is there really a question?
Question. Will you run me through the dungeon? Is that what you're about to ask?
Or you could just Discord him that if that's the question.
So, no, what's the question? Do you think with the release of the 2 new AMD cards, the GPUs on the 13th, okay, so NVIDIA's already dropped their price once, and their card sales are for not. The 4080 cards aren't moving. The scalper cards, the cards that the scalpers purchased are not selling. Even the 4090 cards are not selling. They need to start producing more of the 4090 cards. They're getting in legislative trouble for that one because they're purposely shorting the market to try to clear out their RTX 30 series cards, and it's biting them in the butt. It's to the point now, looking at the performance leaks, looking at the benchmarking and everything. Sure, the AMD GPUs, the 7900 XTX, does not have the ray tracing uplift that the RTX 40 card does. It does have 100% the AVI encoding, which gives you the 40% encoding uplift to your streaming, your OBS, your live streams, as well as if you're doing graphics editing or video editing. It just doesn't have as much RAM. But I honestly, I would go with this. If you're going to spend the money, dude, honestly, long term on the build that you want to do, since the 7900 XT is only supposed to be $1,000, I know that's about a third of the budget of your PC. That I don't know what the 6900 XT is going to be with $600. But the problem is that card, so the RTX 20 series, the RTX 30, or the NVIDIA RTX 20 and 30 series don't have the new DLSS support, and the AMD 600 or 6000 series RDNA 2, not RDNA 3, so they don't have the uplift, they don't have the support or the performance that the 7000 series has.
6600.
The 6600 for Matt's PC, I think that'll, if he's just playing Destiny and a few other games, I think that'll be just fine. I mean, it's a teenager's PC. He's going to be a sophomore. He's got a couple of more years of high school, and it'd be just fine. I don't think that'll be a problem. Yeah, I don't see that as a problem. He's not going to have the super duper ray tracing performance that he'd get out of a 30 card or a 40 card for Minecraft, but it's Minecraft. Who cares? Minecraft with ray tracing looks great. Ray tracing without ray tracing doesn't look all that much different to me. But for price, yeah, I think you're going to have with the price in the 6600s, or I think, yeah, because with the 3070s going for what, $500 now.
So.
Well,
Yeah, I was seeing that, Joe. I was looking at it myself just now.
Oh, excuse me. The 3070 cards are going for roughly up just under around 350 to $380, and the RTX 3070 Ti's are going for about 500. This, let me see here, AMD 6600. Are you looking at 6600 or 6600 XT?
I figured he was looking at the XT.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's much cheaper. That's much cheaper. Yeah, I would go with that. And that is actually the XT is right between the 3060 Ti and the 3070 Ti. It settles about comparable to the 3070. So at least if you go to the benchmark sites and stuff where I'm at now. Just get him a Windows Vista and call it a day. I'm never working on a Vista box again. I'd much rather work on a Windows 3.2 box or 6.2 or 3, excuse me, Windows 3.1 or a Windows 6.2 box, which is not very graphical, than I would work on a Vista box. Those boxes are just so freaking pain in the butt for user policies and stuff. But yeah, I for Matt's PC, dude, what processor are you pairing it with? What CPU? Oh, Wired 2800. Those are end of life. I'd much rather be on a 2016. That's nuts. Oh, you're looking? Okay. You see the number one best-selling processor right now is the 5800X 3D.
Yes, yeah.
They cannot keep that. The
i7 670.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be able to play most of the new stuff coming out too. He'll be able to do the Harry Potter game, the Hogwarts Legacy game. He'll be able to do most of the games. He might not be able to play them at full tilt, but he'll be fine. That's what's in the system now. He'll be able to handle that 6600 XT will handle the First Descendant pretty well. He won't be able to use DLSS, but he'll be able to use FRS 2.0, or I guess it'll be 3.0 by that time. So it should be fine. They're not 100% trade-off between the two in comparisons, but the performance uplift is phenomenal anyways. So I think it'd be fine. Just make sure he's got 16 gigs of RAM and an M2 drive. I don't like platter drives. I just, unless you're doing storage on them, yeah. For me or for him? For me, a 7950X. For him, a 5800X 3D. Because I know what his uses are. For me, I know what I use.
For him.
Is this for him?
Yeah, for Joe.
You're not going to stream, right? You're just going to game? Are you going to do anything other than gaming? Skull and Crossbones. That's on my list, Bob. Actually, That's not. It wasn't mentioned in the Game Awards, but I am watching it because I'm intrigued because it's multiplayer, and it's supposed to come to the X Pass, so I will be testing it out. SQL work, coding work, any analytics, computational driven. That's more GPU than CPU. If you're doing like SQL and databasing and computational, any type of analytics where it's running background tasks, multitasking, all that other stuff, then I would go with the 7950X. Definitely with the 7950X. I saw a huge difference with my system when I went from the 3950 to a 5950, and I am very much looking forward to the 7950X. And we should have the confirmation here in 2 weeks or less of the 7950X 3D. They are releasing a series of X3D processors. AMD's got to get their marketplace and pricing down on the processors. The GPUs, I think, are going to release at a phenomenal price. NVIDIA's got to get their heads out of their butt and get their prices dropped. There's no way a 4800, which clocks slower than the 7900 XT, is going to outsell or outpace it for $500 more. It's just not going to happen. NVIDIA controls the pricing. They're going to have to make the pricing up to the AIBs that made the other cards like MSI and Asus and stuff, but there's no way. The 4080 should comparably sell for $1,000. And then the 4090 should be selling for around $1,300 to $1,350, not $1,500-$1,600. We'll see that settle sometime in the next couple months, I think, at least according to video cards pricing trends and stuff. So at the price has already dropped on it too. Yeah, it was, yep. Yep. Oddly, the most expensive components I find right now for anything is getting a good case and a good power supply. And then the motherboard. Hard part for me is getting the GPU that I really want. My concern on the 13th of December is how quickly will the cards sell out of stock and how quickly will scalpers get on there. I just want to see the government stop and get busy and make a law that says, hey, people are like, oh, you're screwing with capitalism. No, it's already caught wind with what's going on with what happened with Taylor Swift and Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster got ripped apart on this one because like there were seats selling at her concert that should have been like $400 that were selling for $40,000. Hello, I don't care who you are. I'm not paying $40,000 to see somebody sing. Not going to happen. So you've got scalpers that are just jacking the prices up. They buy them and repost them. The easiest solution is to say, hey, any business site in the United States that falls under the purview of the United States or plans to sell and has licensing to sell in the United States, if you are selling a new product, list the SKU, the SKU number. We will determine based on that one by going back directly to the manufacturer what the MSRP price is, and you will be allowed to sell it for no more than 10% markup. That gives you a little bit of a markup, but not enough to screw over the person trying to get a card. I looked at a 4090 the other day. I've been trying to get forever, and the guy wanted $3,800 for a freaking 4090 card. I'm not spending $4,000 on a freaking 4090 GPU that only sells for $600 or $1,650. It should be illegal to be able to do stuff like that. We were just wrapping up the show, Samuel. We talked about Destiny quite a bit. We talked about the Game Awards, and Jedi Joe had some technology questions. I've lived, breathed, and have done tech for 30 plus years and built a few systems and keep up on it on a regular basis, especially given the company that I work for. I kind of have to. So yeah, he's getting ready. Jedi Joe's getting ready to build a PC here in a couple of weeks, and he was trying to figure out what parts for his system, and he needs to do an upgrade for his son's system. So that's what we're talking about. But dude, I'm doing the V3000 case because I can put two systems inside of it. It's not a typical user case.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For him, it's not worth doing.
Yeah, unless you plan on building. See, the V3000 is designed to house two motherboards.
I'm not gonna cut you off here, dude, but I am gonna
okay.
Gonna call it a day.
Oh, no worries. We're gonna
because it's been 3 hours of sitting in this chair. That's
not a problem.
Enough.
Okay. Anyways, guys, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We appreciate everyone that stopped by and put up with us. We had a lot of fun. You can catch Jay. Unforsaken Jay. Hold on, let me get this thing out of the way. You can get Unforsaken Jay on YouTube, Twitch.
Yeah, YouTube,
and on Twitch and on Twitter as Unforsaken Jay. You can hit me up as GMD Geek on just about any platform. I'll be in game later in Destiny. If you guys need anything, hit us up on Twitter or Discord or wherever. We'll be happy to answer questions and interact. Try to read all the comments everywhere, but thank you guys so much for a fantastic evening, and we will see you guys next time.